That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Kelly here with AC by J. As an Arizona native, I love monsoon season, but as the owner of a heating, cooling, and plumbing company, AC by J, I know your air conditioner doesn't share my enthusiasm. Monsoon dust, humidity, and power surges can cause havoc to your AC system. Protect your home with our monsoon maintenance. Just $109, $40 off our regular price with a condensation line flush to prevent water damage to your home. Call AC by J at 602-609-7664 or go to acbyj.com. Service you can trust from our family to yours.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TAP to 321-321. That's TAP to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
The general election is November 8th this year. Voting locations are open on Election Day from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. All qualified voters must show ID. For a list of valid IDs, go online to arizona.vote. Have an early ballot? You can return it at any voting location or secure election drop box, and you don't have to wait in line. Learn more about voting locations at arizona.vote or call 1-877-THE-VOTE. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Secretary of State's office.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K256 Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM. All right, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Welcome, everybody, to a Friday edition of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. It is a beautiful day outside, and we have some beautiful weather this weekend. I understand. I have it on good authority. We will actually see 70s this weekend for the high. Keon, we made it. We made it.
We did it. You know, you make it. You push through hell, and on the other side is what you earn there. So
I am happy to announce that as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. My name is Randy White. That over there is the sexiest man in sports talk radio, Keon Rose. Jeffrey O'Brien, extremely hungover after last night's exciting game. What a barn burner. What a truly a barn burner game. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. Got lots to cover today. We've got so much of it. But first, I have to say, and by the way, you're texting in on the text line at 888-368-1580. 888-368-1580. That is our text line. And we will be talking to you as we go throughout the show today. You, the fourth dimension, you make the show. That's why the show works. It's not because of myself. It's not because of Keon, the sexiest man in sports talk radio. It is because of you, the fourth dimension, like Stockton Slap. Holy crap. Holy crap. What a terrible game last night. What a crap fest. I was ready to sign a petition to get rid of the Thursday night football altogether because it's such a horrible product. At least make some changes where the teams only play the Thursday night coming off a bye week and give them a chance to rest and prepare. This is horrible. Wow. Stockton slap. Bringing the rain today.
He's not wrong. You come off of a Sunday game and you play football 4 days later. It's not going to be the best football.
Well, I don't want to talk about that yet because I have something more pressing to talk about. The Yankees lose. It's final in the Bronx. You should have seen the Yankee fans' faces.
The beautiful thing about Yankee fans is that when they lose, even if it should have been completely obvious the entire time, they literally never see it coming. It's great.
It's as if they just had their hearts ripped out. Cleveland Guardians 4, New York Yankees 2 in the game 2 of the ALDS in the Bronx. The playoff shift now to Cleveland. That's your final in 10 innings. Shane Bieber. Okay, look, this guy is amazing. And I didn't really know a lot about Cleveland, Keon, but they have a pitching staff there in Cleveland. They have a pitching. This Clace that came in to shut the game down, efficient, hard thrower, smart with his pitches. He came in at 2 1/3, gave up 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, threw only 33 pitches in 2 1/3. And, you know, listen. Shane Bieber was also, he went 5 2/3, gave up 2 earned runs, 3 base on balls, 7 Ks through 101 pitches. And Terry Francona has got something magical happening in Cleveland. I don't know if the Guardians will be able to wear down the Yankees, but the Yankees sure look befuddled. And by the way, Aaron Judge, 0 for 5 today with 4 Ks. And 1 routine ground ball to third base. So far, he is 0 for the series.
Probably should have left a little in the tank for the postseason there, Mr. Judge. I mean, when you're in pursuit of a record, you know, sometimes, and we saw it happen with the Warriors in the NBA, you pursue the record, and then there's kind of a letdown after that. You're not performing at your highest level. Maybe that's something that could be afflicting Aaron Judge. That, and of course, like you said, Shane Bieber makes people look real dumb.
Well, I have to tell you, the Yankees need to figure something out. If Aaron Boone lasts, if the Yankees lose this ALDS, I don't know if Aaron Boone lasts in the Bronx. I think they will make a move. When you have a team, A, this expensive, B, this talented, and you go 2 runs on 6 hits with 2 errors, that's just unforgivable, especially at a home game. And
you're the favorite. Like that shouldn't happen. And it did. And I think Aaron Boone does have to answer for that, but I don't know what answers he could possibly give.
I'm trying to see here where the Yankees, they must have scored in the first inning, because I don't see the whole box score here. They must have scored in the first inning. It must have been in the first inning, because they scored 2 runs. That was on a Giancarlo Stanton home run. The rest of the team is just is not doing very well at the plate at all. So they've got to shake this off if they want to even have an opportunity, because I'll tell you, this Cleveland pitching staff is pretty damn stout. More on the playoffs in just a moment. We've got so much to talk about. How about the game last night? Keon and I break it down, because it was his team, and there was a whole lot of stuff in the last 24 hours, Keon. I mean, there was a whole lot of stuff that came out.
You're telling me.
We're going to talk about that. But we say goodbye to an old friend, a guy I watched play ball for many years, 69 years old. I'm talking about the Cy Young winner, Bruce Sutter. 69 years old, passed away. I don't know why he passed away. I don't know what he had. I was trying to find out, or if it was just natural causes. But the Hall of Famer, we bid him farewell. Jeffrey would say he had it coming. I won't do that. Also, Tom Brady. Tom Brady's wallet's going to get a little thinner. We'll talk about that coming up here on the Daily Blender. Well, let's get to last night. It was horrible. It was boring. It was terrible. Worst game I've seen all season long. Of course, I'm speaking of the Coyotes and Penguins game. So we had a short show yesterday because of Thursday Night Football. But somebody texted in when the game got going, it was already like 3-0 Penguins, like in the first period. And yeah, Dateline Pittsburgh. The Penguins are much stronger than the young Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah, that game was brutal. They fought back. The Coyotes did. They're young. They're plucky. They're not going to sit there and get shut out.
Yeah, they scored a goal in the second, a goal in the third. Come on.
But that's when I say fight back. Yeah, with the talent that they have, they're just not going to be able to do a whole lot. But I like that they didn't lie down. They didn't, because you get shut out. That's even more embarrassing. It just is. I just think that that's our sign there that there's a long road ahead in this rebuild. There's still a whole lot left to be done.
Nick Ritchie, the bright spot for the Arizona Coyotes, he scored the 2 goals for the team, and it was a bad game all around. Arizona, of course, the Coyotes did not win a game during the preseason. They looked overmatched, in my opinion. They looked outgunned in the first part of the game, and maybe they were it's a young team. Maybe they were just playing tight. You know what I mean? Maybe they were playing tight.
There's got to be a little bit of that. You're especially you've been in the league 1, maybe 2 years, and you're across from Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and some of these other guys that have done so many great things in the NHL. I would think you would be a little bit tight. Yeah, and sometimes you also move to that level. The game just moves that much faster.
I wish I wish I could see shots on goal, because I bet the Penguins outshot the Coyotes 2-1 easy. Let's see, there's 7, that's 10, 14, 16, 17, 19, 22, 26, 32. Good night. There's at least 40 shots on goal by the Penguins, and there's that's not even close for the Coyotes. Rackle for the Penguins at 7 shots on goal.
Good Lord.
Our leader with 4 shots on goal was tied between Gostisbehere here and Hayton. Both of those guys had 4 shots on goals. One's a defenseman and one is a center. Everybody else had 1, 2.
That can't happen. It's one thing to not score because, the other team's goalie is just amazing, or maybe your guys are just young and still learning, but the attempts have to go up. You do actually have to try to take shots.
Yeah, here you go. Here's the shots on goal, because Vejmelka, our goaltender, there's shots against him with 53 shots against him. He gave up 6. 53 shots against him. He gave up 6. And against Jari, the goalie for the Penguins, 28 shots against. He gave up 2.
So Vejmelka actually didn't do a bad job considering how many shots he had to defend.
Considering there was no damn defense for the Coyotes.
Meanwhile, your defenseman and your center are attempting 4 shots each.
4. 1.
I'm just saying.
2. And the hitches keep on coming. Tomorrow night is the next game for the Coyotes as they take on the Boston Bruins in Boston.
Oh, I'm sure that's going to go very well. It's just going to be swimmingly
in Boston.
Oh boy.
Damn. So there's your moment or two of Coyotes hockey. I mean, I know Jeffrey's not here. I love the Coyotes. I don't care. I'm an Arizona sports guy. Woos says, hi guys, happy Friday. Hey, remember the comedian Paul Mercurio who hung out with us the Friday before the fantasy draft at Dave & Buster's? Yes, I do remember. He was on the Stephen Colbert show this week talking comedy. Didn't know you guys hung out with such famous folks. Yeah, we do. Yeah, Jeffrey knows Paul Mercurio from back in the days when Jeffrey was touring around. Yeah, they've been friends for a long time. So, yeah, we knew. As a matter of fact, when Paul was leaving, he invited us to go to New York. Well, he invited Keon and Jeffrey. He didn't invite me. He never wanted to look me in the eyes for some reason.
I don't know what that was about. It's very strange.
Yeah. Blissful Hay says, congratulations to the Redskins. Not the Redskins, man. Congratulations to the Commandos. The Bears are officially the worst team in the NFL. You think so?
No. Neither of those teams is the worst team in the
Who's
NFL.
the worst team right now in the NFL?
I mean, it's I mean, you have a lot of options. It just, I mean,
is Houston the worst team in the NFL?
It would have to be Houston. I think. I mean, I know Houston's played decently well enough to make some things happen, but how's it? I think if either of those teams played Houston, they'd win.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to know what's going on here. I forget who it is, 4960. For some reason, our text line is not updating your name. I think it's Jagdog, but I'm not for sure. 4960 says, Carson Wentz is 7-0 on Thursday night games. Wow.
Yeah. Unbelievable stat. The moment I saw that, I thought, should I bet this? But I knew better. You don't touch those Thursday.
Take the over.
I sure hope you didn't.
888-368-1580. Okay, let's start our breakdown of it. There was a lot going on last night. I will say that Carson Wentz had some high points. He had some good points in the game. He went 12 of 22 for 99 yards. That's it. 4.5 yard average.
Absolutely miserable game. I understand.
12 of 22.
Yeah.
For 99 yards.
It's one of the most miserable performances that he's had this entire season. He hasn't looked that bad this entire year. So, of course, they win. Why would things make sense?
What's the situation? I mean, he had a good game last week. That was one of his best of the season, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of his better games of the season. Yeah, I thought his best game of the season was the game 1 against Jacksonville. But the last week was good. It was like a lot of improvement. I know he threw the goal line interception, but everything else, he did about everything you could ask him to do correctly. They just couldn't protect him. Last night was kind of more of the same, but I just think the Bears were playing really good defense, which, you know, I was not impressed by that secondary previously. I'm becoming more impressed by it.
No, keep in mind who it was.
I know who it was, but this is a talented receiving core. And it's not just that Carson was disrupted by that secondary. It was that the receivers were. I think Terry McLaurin's a good receiver. So if you disrupt him, I have some respect there. So and it's not the first receiver they've disrupted this year. So it's not just this game that I'm putting that together in. But yeah, I thought the Bears played really good defense and that they couldn't play any offense at all.
Terry McLaurin, 3 receptions, 41 yards. His long reception was 17 yards. Total targets, it says here, was 4.
And that was actually a short throw that he picked up 10 or 15 of the yards himself.
So, all right, fantasy owners, run out real quick and pick up Cole Turner. He was 2 receptions for 23 yards. There you go. That's the new hot one right there. How about Brian Robinson, man? How about the return of Mr. Robinson?
Mm-hmm.
17 carries for 60 yards. I know it's not a bunch, but this guy just got back with the team this week.
He did play a little on Sunday, but he was the starter on Thursday. You know, that's very impressive when you consider just 2 weeks before the season started, he got shot in the leg.
17 carries, 60 yards, 3.5 yard average, scored a touchdown. How about Brian Damn Robinson?
Wow. He really, really good. And he had some really good runs too. Again, the numbers aren't going to show it because of just how bad the game was, but he really picked up some crucial first downs for them. I really like the guy. I think he's going to be awesome. So continue to look forward to that, but good to have that bright spot because there was not a whole lot of bright spots in that game.
Okay, so was it the Commanders' defense? Was it the Commanders' defense that held Chicago, or was it just I don't know, dropsies? I mean, Darryl Mooney catches that ball, and probably that's going to be a touchdown and a win for the Bears. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I agree with that. The dropsies definitely hurt him. I thought the defense for the Commanders was good, but yeah, that was one of those moments that the Bears should have taken advantage of. And they know how the NFL works. You get 1 or 2 of those moments, and if you miss them, sometimes that is the difference between winning and losing, is hitting those shots. So yeah, Darnell Mooney should have caught that. But we're talking about 2 teams right now that have 2 of the worst offensive lines in the league potentially. So the Bears were able to get to Carson, and Washington was able to get to Justin. And that was basically the story of the game.
Well, you knew Justin Fields was going to take a beating.
He always does. It's a bad line.
And I don't know what they need to do in Chicago other than just scrap this offensive line and go get some guys and just they owe it to this rookie. Don't ruin. I think the kid could be a great quarterback. I think he's an exciting runner. I think he's an elite runner. I think this kid is somebody that could really electrify a team that has that kind of mobile quarterback mentality, kind of like the Ravens do, kind of like the Cardinals do now. The Seahawks used to when Russell Wilson was there, not so much now. But Justin Fields deserves better, man.
Justin Fields made one of the most amazing throws I've ever seen. The touchdown pass that he threw
to Pettis, is that the one you're talking about? That over the shoulder thing?
It was the over the shoulder throw. But what you didn't see when you look at him is Justin Fields was having his left guard pushed into his lap as he released the football. Yeah. And it was pinpoint accurate down the sideline. I mean, what more could you ask?
14 of 27, 190. Now there's a quarterback rating right there. There's a quarterback right there. 14 of 27, 190, average 7 yards a pass. 1 touchdown. Okay, 1 pick.
The pick wasn't his fault too. It was smacked. Exactly. And then of course Washington came down with it because it went straight up in the air.
Yeah, exactly. That wasn't his fault, but it's going to be charged against him. And then rushing, he led the team in rushing as well. 12 carries for 88 yards. See, I told you Justin Fields 100 yards. I told you. I almost hit on that one. Dante Pettis, is this guy for real, or did this just happen to be a good game for him?
Hard to tell. I'd have to see it happen again now because I know what secondary he's going against. And I haven't seen Washington contain a single receiver all year for the whole game. So Pettis breaking free doesn't tell me a lot, but I will say this from what I saw. The dude is fast and he has ball skills. He can go up there and catch the ball and make contested catches. And I like that.
Cole Kmet, the tight end, he had 1 reception for 15 yards. David Montgomery, what's wrong with him? 15 carries, 67 yards. Khalil Herbert had 7 carries for 75 yards.
Yeah, Montgomery's just coming off of an injury. I think he's going to return back to form eventually this season, but he missed last week, if I'm not mistaken. And now he's coming back, and I think they're going to just let him in slow. He's not going to be the David Montgomery that started the year, maybe for another couple of weeks.
So the Washington, the Commandos, Terry McLaurin and Christian Holmes gave up a fumble each. McLaurin gave up a fumble, but he got it back. Boy, you talk about the fumbles, Chicago. Velus Jones Jr., Justin Fields gave one up. But I think he was under duress. David Montgomery, he recovered one. But the thing that stuck out to me was, holy cow, there were passes in hands of the receivers, and they didn't catch the ball.
Both sides, to be honest. And they should have caught that. I mean, this could have been a better game were it not for that. And so I'm a little disappointed on that front. But I do think that there were some bright spots throughout the game. Obviously, Brian Robinson, obviously Dante Pettis. And I feel bad for Justin Fields because people are going to continue to look at him and go, and that guy can't play quarterback. When in reality, he has nothing to work with, and he still makes things happen every now and then.
All right, we got to take a break. I'm a little late. It's the first segment on a Friday show of the Daily Blender. When we come back, we've got more to talk about from this game because there was so much more that happened regarding the Commandos yesterday. The welcoming back of Mr. Robinson. We'll break that down a little bit more. Also, Dan Snyder. Yeah, we'll talk about it. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update for Arizona's new home for sports, The Fanatic. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Both American League Division Series continue today. The Astros minus 150 on the money line this afternoon against the Mariners in Houston. Seattle at plus 135, 7 the over-under. Later tonight, the Guardians plus 124, the Yankees at minus 134, the over-under at 6.5. NLDS play continues on Friday with Game 3 between the Braves and Phillies and Dodgers and Padres. Opening week for the 2022-23 NHL season, the Colorado Avalanche at plus 425 favorite to win the Cup with the Maple Leafs at plus 750 and the Oilers, Panthers, Rangers, and Hurricanes each at plus 1,200. Red hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. For vsin.com, I'm Trey Westerberg on Arizona's sports betting station.
Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. I'll tell you why. If you join today to get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with my promo code Randy1580. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props. With live betting, you'll get updated odds on games you already have in front of you, and you can get paid fast when you win. It's all in an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose back, with promo code Randy1580. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and older, present in Arizona. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Please gamble responsibly. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale, October 14th through the 17th, and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TAP to 321-321. That's TAP to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Ooh.
Remember last year when you wanted to hear that NFL matchup, but you couldn't because you were at your nephew's birthday party and the Fanatic couldn't stream the NFL on their app? Didn't that suck?
Well, those days are over, pal. Now you can listen live to every primetime NFL game on the Fanatic app. Download the app now at the Google Play Store or the App Store, or at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender on a Friday here on 1580 99.3. The Fanatic as we roll on in this 3 o'clock hour. So much to talk about as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios or Studios. I mean, I suppose it's Friday. Studios would be good, depending on how much you've had, already, how much you've already had an intake. Taken in. I may be having a stroke right now. I don't know. 888-368-1580 is the text line. And let's go to that now. Bruno Baller says, hey, Keon, the Bears did play Houston and beat them earlier this year already. So, I mean, technically, Keon, what he's saying, I think, is that Houston
is the worst team in the league.
It is the worst team.
You could make a strong case for Carolina, though. But I'll say Houston.
Could make a strong case for Carolina.
I mean, they've already fired their coach, so they agree on some level.
A Big Stanky says, hey, Keon, I owe Izzy lunch. We should all get together for lunch.
Yeah, let's go for it, because I owe you.
What's Big Stanky owe Izzy lunch for?
I'm guessing some bet on either the morning show or the main event, and I owe Big Stanky lunch for the Titans Commandos game. So. Yeah, if we got together, then we could just all pay it all off and hang out.
Yeah, no worries, Big Stanky. I'm busy on that day anyway. So Last Optimist says, In a theoretical divorce between Brady and Giselle, as the primary breadwinner, how much money do you think Giselle will have to pay Brady? Come on, man. It's a Friday show. Let's keep it light and easy. King of Kittens. Hey, boys, just tuning in. Sounds like Jeffrey's no longer among us. Kind of like Atlanta will be soon. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe we'll feel better someday. Beer me, Randy. All right. I mean, Jeffrey didn't go anywhere. He's just hung over from last night's big game. That's all. He didn't go anywhere. Sounds like Keon's got his beverage on.
Yeah. Did have to treat a mild hangover because, I had to watch the damn thing too. So,
Big George says, hello, gentlemen. Happy Friday. I don't want to talk about yesterday's awful football game. I got 0.60 points from Curtis Samuel and 2 points from J.D. McKissick. I didn't think a football game could get worse than last week's Indianapolis Colts Denver Broncos game, and apparently I was wrong. George, you started this text off by saying I don't want to talk about the game, and what are you doing? You talk about the game.
Talk about the game, but more to the point, touchdowns got scored in this game. This game was not worse than last week. Last week was worse.
There was no touchdowns last week, Big George.
Teams entered the end zone, man.
He says, any chance Amazon comps us a free month of Amazon Prime for the awful Thursday night football games so far this month?
They should. They should.
It's a good point.
I haven't been watching on Amazon Prime, and they should comp us.
Pinocchio says, not only do the Thursday night games suck, but their crew of analysts look like the island of misfit toys. Crew of analysts? You mean
Andrew Whitworth and Richard Sherman and Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Is that who you mean?
I like those guys. I'm not gonna lie. They're not
island of misfit toys.
They're not professionals. We basically just yanked all of these guys right off of a football field. But I like how brutally honest they can be, how they disagree with each other. I think it's fun.
5875, who's apparently a vetted texter on the text line. But because we have this new system and for some reason it has not fully populated all the names, says, I think I just witnessed the worst MLB playoff pitch in history. Oderozzi just spiked one 4 feet in front of the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for me to remember one worse than that off the top of my head, but
just spiked it 4 feet in front of the pitcher's mound. Little too much of that spider tack on his finger, eh? All right. Not only was last night's game horrible, terrible, boring, and probably one of the worst games we've seen all year. And my apologies, Keon. No disrespect to you.
No, it's a fact. It's definitely near the bottom of quality games we've seen. Yeah.
Can I ask you, our good friend Ryan Fitzpatrick? He's a longtime listener to the Daily Blender. I don't know if you know that.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
He apparently texts into the show. He said during an interview he was on last night, he said, quote, Justin Fields needs to look in the mirror and say, what am I? Fitzpatrick went on to say, you're not Peyton Manning. You're not Patrick Mahomes. You're not a pocket passer. You're a Cam Newton type. You're a guy who's an elite runner of the football, end quote. And by the way, Fitzpatrick looks great on there. He's still got that epic beard. It's not as big, and it's finally coiffed, but he does have that epic beard. Is Ryan Fitzpatrick, in your estimation, Keon, is he right?
I will say yes, but I will also add that I heard the interview that they did with him on Westwood One here on this station, Thursday Night Football on the radio. They interviewed Ryan Fitzpatrick and asked him about Justin Fields. And in that interview, he said that Justin Fields should accept being a runner right now and be a pocket passer further down the line once he's developed, his skill set and all the nuances of the game of reading a defense, of changing your protection and all of that other stuff that quarterbacks have to do. So to what he was saying, yeah, I don't think he was trying to be mean. I think he was trying to just say, hey, right now at the stage that you're at, your legs are your best weapon. Use that. And he's not necessarily wrong.
So do you think he takes more abuse if he was a running quarterback or if he stood in the pocket and tried to deliver passes?
I think that he takes more abuse if he's trying to stand in the pocket because he's not a moving target there. No one gets really a clean hit on Justin Fields when he's running. He's able to use his legs and uses mobility and the fact that he can hesitate and make guys think too much before they come to hit him. And he's able to use all of that to be able to avoid some of the big shots. I see Lamar do it too. They don't really take the massive shot when they're running. They take more of these big hits in the pocket.
888-368-1580. Last night's game, although because it did hit the end zone twice, once by each team. I think last night's game was better than last week's game.
Not by much.
Thumbs up or thumbs down on that?
Thumbs up. Barely. I'm not saying that last week was so bad and this week was a barn burner, but it was a slightly better game, I thought.
I will say that one of the bright spots from last night's game was the start and unquestionably the good night for Brian Robinson returning from a gunshot wound. Yeah, I said from a real gun. He got shot by a real gun.
It's just a miracle that guy's still walking. I mean, when they talk about where the bullet went, I am literally stunned.
He was in for a bit in last Sunday's game against the Titans. But he had 2 gunshot wounds to his lower body, a victim of an attempted robbery on August 28th. But last night, look, he led the Commanders with 60 yards on 17 carries. He looked good. He was cutting. He ran with authority and confidence. And what he said after the game, Robinson told the media people after the game, my biggest goal was to find my way back on the football field. Do you think he achieved that? Do you think he gained a lot of confidence last night?
I think he gained a lot of confidence, and I think he gained a lot of respect in the locker room because this is a team that needs a running game for their offense to work, and they haven't really had it. Antonio Gibson is a good running back, but he's not a great running back, and I think his skill set is better used kind of going between running back and receiver, which is how they've been trying to use it. But they've had to use him as their main back also because they didn't have Brian. And just having him in there, you can kind of see the difference in how they approach their offense. I mean, unfortunately, Carson couldn't hit the broadside of a barn last night, but the approach changed because they were actually able to run the ball.
Yeah.
They picked up more third downs than they usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Still not great. The number, I think it was 5 of 13 last night. So still not a good number, but 5 of 13 was better than the week before.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and take that.
All right. Speaking of that, you were saying Carson Wentz and not being able to hit his targets last night, which has been one of the knocks on Carson Wentz.
Even though he's been fairly accurate this season.
But it's been one of the knocks on him. I mean, I would think that's fair to say.
Over his career, 100%.
And it's not just with the Washington Commandos. It's followed him from the Eagles to the Colts and now to the Commandos.
Even though he was pretty accurate with the Colts too, so I don't know.
And the constant onslaught on Carson Wentz, including his own coach. Ron Rivera, answered just one word when asked about what are the problems with what are the struggles with the Commandos? Why aren't they competitive against the other NFC East teams? He said one word: quarterback. Well, last night he had a little bit more to say following the game because he was again asked some more of these questions, some more of these taunting questions about his quarterback and the team. Here's what he said.
I'm going to speak my mind for a second. Honestly, it's been hard. It really has. You lose 4 games in a row, and everybody wants to get you, just get on you. And they've played their asses off. They have. They played their asses off for everybody. They come out and they show up. They work hard. All right. They don't complain. Okay. They hear all this stuff and they got to deal with it. I get that. And I respect them for that because they're resilient. They come back. Everybody keeps wanting to say, I didn't want anything to do with Carson. Well, I'm the guy that pulled out the sheets of paper, that looked at the analytics, that watched the tape in the freaking when we were at Indianapolis. Okay. And that's what pisses me off because the young man doesn't deserve to have that all the time. I'm sorry. I'm done.
And away he went.
Mm-hmm. Grand opening, grand closing.
So it wasn't just the media, but also there was a report that came out yesterday, Keon, and you have got to be salivating. You've got to be foaming at the mouth at the prospect of what could happen. But also there was some speculation that Dan Snyder, that's what he's referring to. Dan Snyder demanded this move for Carson Wentz. It wasn't Ron Rivera. And that's what really got him upset. And the fact that people just keep pounding on Carson Wentz.
Yeah, like Carson Wentz is the only thing wrong with this damn football team. Carson Wentz doesn't play defense. Carson Wentz doesn't block for himself. So no, I do agree with his rage there. And you know what? The thing with Dan Snyder is he has a history of doing this stuff, right? Like the RG3 trade, the amount of assets that they gave up to go get Robert Griffin III. And I look, I have a lot of love for having Robert Griffin III on the team. Okay, that is one of the best years of Washington football I have ever seen. The 2012 where he was the rookie of the year. That was so much fun. And the team hasn't been that good ever again. But Dan Snyder was the guy that wanted Robert Griffin III at all costs. That is a fact. So when people look at this and start asking some of these questions about who was really the one pulling the strings to get a quarterback, I think that's fair to ask, given the history with Robert Griffin III, given the when they traded for Clinton Portis back in the day, that was something that Daniel Snyder wanted. When they signed Deion Sanders in his late 30s, about to be 40, that was something that Daniel Snyder wanted. Yeah, I mean, these are things that he wanted. He has been an owner because Daniel Snyder, despite the fact that he's a bad owner, he really does want to win. And so he gets his hands on stuff and he can't keep himself out of it. So I think it's fair to ask, did you want Carson or did Dan want Carson? That is a fair question to ask.
All right.
But Ron's tired of hearing
it. He's had enough. We've got to take a break. When we come back, let's talk about the other side of that question, the Daniel Snyder side of that question. And we'll finish out the 3:00 hour on an up note for Keon. This is going to make him perhaps not only the sexiest man in sports talk radio, the happiest man in sports talk radio. This is the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs, protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TAP to 321-321. That's TAP to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Every day, I bet your floors have shoe grime and pet grime and invisible grime.
Invisible grime?
Yep, the kind of grime that you only notice when you look at your socks.
Ew.
So get Swiffer Sweeper Wet, the cleaning power of a mop with the convenience of a wipe. Sweeper heavy-duty wet pads come prepped with a cleaning solution that traps and locks dirt and grime deep inside the pad, even dirt and grime you can't see, for the clean floors you want, anytime you want it. Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty wet pads.
Arizonans are facing big challenges these days. Rising costs at the grocery store, the gas pump, and the pharmacy. That's why Mark Kelly is doing whatever it takes in Washington to bring down costs, even when it means standing up to his own party. The son of 2 police officers, Mark grew up in a house where money was tight. He knows what it means for Arizonans when everyday items cost more. Thanks to Mark Kelly's work, Medicare will finally negotiate down prescription drug prices. Less money spent at the pharmacy means more money stays in your pocket. Mark is leading the effort to cut red tape for truckers and ease supply chain issues. And he's pushing for more domestic oil production to bring down gas prices. Because Mark knows that for a lot of people, every little bit counts right now. Senator Mark Kelly, looking out for Arizona, fighting for us.
I'm Mark Kelly, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mark Kelly for Senate.
Download our free sports app and stay up with all the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and more. Or stream us live anywhere at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for sports.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Randy White and the sexiest man at Sports Talk Radio, Keon Rose. Working our way to a 6 o'clock end time here on the big flamethrower. Jeffrey O'Brien recovering from last night's big game. Should be back on Monday. You never know, but I emphasize should. Should be back Monday. Stockton Slap on the text line at 888-368-1580 says the only reason Keon's the sexiest man at Sports Talk Radio is because I don't do sports talk. You're welcome.
I mean, that's not my fault.
Wow. Baby Got Dak says, happy Friday, guys. I love Ryan Fitzpatrick. He seems like a super chill guy, and I think he's entertaining on Thursday Night Football. Well, there you go.
He's awesome. I don't know. I actually like the Thursday Night Football crew.
It's kind of different, huh? It's not the status quo, is it?
It's not. I think they are trying to do something different. I don't know if it's working necessarily, but I like that they're trying, and I think that there's some stuff they need to still iron out. But I like the attempt, and I think that there's a place to grow from there.
Big George back on the text line says, I may not have enjoyed the games this month, but I think Amazon has one of the best broadcasting crews going right now. Al Michaels is the best, and I like their island of misfit toys analysts. Very good, Big George. Kiss the Cook says, happy Friday, 4D. Randy, please make me a flaming Dr. Pepper to start my weekend. There's the flame, and then I gotta get that pour. Gotta get that pour in there. Hang on, here's the pour now. Flaming, yeah. Hope that works for you. King of Kittens. So Jeffrey's services are Monday, you say? No, he'll be back to service us on Monday. Hello.
Crazy.
Hello. He's coming back to service us on Monday. See what I'm saying?
I just don't. I don't like what's being insinuated there. I don't think he's gonna do what that song implies he's gonna do.
I can't think about that now. I've got a radio show I have to do. All right. So we continue on because I've been dying to get to this because I want to hear what you have to say about this. Keon, there was a report from ESPN, an investigative report by 3 separate ESPN investigative reporters that claim that the Commanders' boss Snyder claims he has, quote, dirt on the NFL owners and Goodell.
I can't believe that. I really can't believe that. I'm glad that got put out there because that's going to help these owners turn on it.
Snyder recently told a close associate that he has gathered enough secrets to, quote, blow up, end quote, several NFL owners, the league office, and even Commissioner Roger Goodell. Wow.
Just saying the quiet part out loud there, Dan.
Quote, they can't bleep with me, he said privately. Wow. Another quote from him. The NFL is a mafia, he told an associate. All the owners hate each other.
Boy. Coming from the NFL's dorkiest owner, that is unbelievable. It truly is.
Now, I find this interesting in this ESPN article here, that there's a quote from one of the veteran owners that says, all the owners hate Dan. Underneath this quote, there is a picture of nobody other than Jerry Jones.
I don't have the patience to jack with you today.
See what I'm saying? Jerry.
I thought you were boys, Jerry.
Together.
Yeah.
I thought you were guys.
The NFL meetings in New York begin Tuesday. That's this coming Tuesday. So far, there's nothing on the docket that is dealing with this. I say so far. But Keon, I mean, you've got to have butterflies in your stomach. I mean, you've got to be hopping around like an 8-year-old kid on who's just ate a bag of Skittles. I mean, not the little bag, the big bag. It's all sugar, and you have got to be absolutely dancing in your spirit. Tell me, what are you feeling right now?
Well, I got a little steam in my stride right now. Of course I do. This is fantastic news because first off, Daniel Snyder being able to have leaked that he's got dirt on all the other owners just tells the other owners, anybody who even thinks that Dan is their friend, he's not your friend. Go ahead and kick him out the league. He's not your friend. But the other part of it, which is they don't want him there. Nobody likes him. I think that when you think of the owners, the NFL owners as this billionaires boys club, well, one of the club members, the other 31 guys don't want him there. They want him out of the league. And I hope that they make the measures to do that because they have evidence. Okay. They've got evidence of his malfeasance. They've got evidence of his negligence. They've got evidence of his incompetence. They have evidence of all of those things. And any one of those things could probably get him pushed out of the league. And if he starts putting out dirt, how much of that is going to even be believed? Are you just doing this because you're about to go down?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm excited. I am excited.
You have not suffered in vain, Keon. Some of the things here that are brought up. The stadium is a disaster, says the senior team executive of FedEx Field and the home of the Commanders. It's the worst stadium in the NFL by far. Last season, railing gave way and Eagles fans collapsed onto the field, nearly hitting Philadelphia quarterback Jalen Hurts. Some of those fans are suing the Commanders as we speak.
And I hope they get all the money. I hope they get every nickel.
Snyder had so much leverage that the government of Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. were competing to devote public funds for a new stadium, and that has all but dissolved because of his that sex scandal, that office scandal that he had going on. He's being investigated, tax evasion, tax fraud, evasion, all that other stuff. This guy has got a laundry list of things that he's being investigated for, and now he's about to lose his football team.
And he just bought a bunch of land in Virginia to try and see if he could get the money to build the stadium. That's probably not going to happen now, but he already bought the land, so good luck figuring out what to do with that because it's in the middle of nowhere in Virginia.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to see.
Jerry Jones went on TV today, saw it with my own eyes, and he said, I don't know if I can protect him anymore.
See, that's the best news because that's the reason he's still in the league.
One of the things that I was listening to today on one of the talk shows as I was preparing for the show is that the owners, and there's a very strongly held conviction that owners cannot go past a certain limit of debt. And right now, Snyder is past that limit of debt, and he's filed another waiver for a new stadium that may just push this thing into overdrive, and they can oust him because he's carrying too much debt.
I don't care how they get this dude out the league. I don't care if it's on a technicality. A win's a win. Last night, 12-7 over Chicago. Ugly game. Win's a win. I'll take it. If they get Dan Snyder out because he didn't dot an I or didn't cross a T, I don't give a damn. I want him out the league worse than anybody you could possibly imagine. And look, the idea that Washington has had the worst stadium, people make fun of me. People will actually, reach out to me on Twitter to make fun of me for that. Like I've been to the stadium. My house was 2 exits away from FedEx Field when I was growing up. I've seen it. I understand exactly how that goes. We all know it. Everybody makes fun of how terrible that stadium is. It's a damn dump. And if we had an owner that actually cared about fan experience and not just raking in money off the fans, then yeah, you would have a stadium that looked good with beers and drinks and food that people could actually afford. I mean, what a novel concept that is.
You're going to love this part of it. You've probably already seen it, but I'm going to read it anyway just because it's so damn fun.
I need to hear it again.
The Commandos declined to make team officials, including Dan Snyder and his wife, Tanya, available for interviews, but issued a statement attributed to the group, including team employees and law firms. The Commandos, a spokesperson, and outside lawyers denied that Snyder has hired or authorized private investigators to track another team's owner and league office executives, including Roger Goodell. Okay, that's evidence number one that he has. In my mind, that this guy has. Number two, their comment that says, this is categorically false, according to John Brownlee and Stuart Nash, partners at Holland and Knight. Quote, he has no dossiers compiled on any owners. Okay, yes, he does.
Dan Snyder tried to investigate a reporter and get him fired because he criticized him one time. And the reporter may have called him the devil. That also happened. But the thing is, you can't get a guy fired for that. So this is well in the wheelhouse and in the MO of Dan Snyder.
Before I go on, you've got to question the integrity and character of Tanya, his wife. Why is she still with him?
Because she's a bad person too. I mean, not openly, not in the same way that he is, but when you hear about all of the, sexual assault allegations from what happened at FedEx Field and what happened there at the practice facility in Ashburn, Virginia, and you hear about all of that and all the women that came forward and reported to the Washington Post about what happened, and then Tanya Snyder still standing by Dan. She's not a good person.
She must only be there until he loses the team so she can, when she divorces him, she can get even more money.
Maybe, but she's been with him this entire time. So I'm going to assume that that's an actual loving relationship. But it doesn't matter, because if you're married to somebody who's an awful person, you should leave.
Guilty by association.
Yeah. And she stepped up when the league said Dan Snyder can't be the guy running the team. He's not allowed back on facility property.
And what was he doing at the game last night? She stepped up,
and because that was Soldier Field. So Dan's been going to road games, so he was hanging out with Jerry Jones in Dallas. Took a awkward picture with him and Jerry, where Jerry looks like he wants to leave right away, and Dan is smiling and happy and very tan from I suppose all of his traveling this summer, avoiding Congress. So yeah, I think that's where we are with this. Dan's trying to show he's still a part of the team. But Tanya's the one that stepped up and said, hey, I will be the fill-in for you, because this technicality, you can still run the team if I'm running it, tells me that Tanya's implicit in what's going on.
A team spokesman called it simply ridiculous and utterly false that Snyder ever said that he could blow up the league, or that the league can't F with him, or that the NFL is a mafia, or all the owners hate each other. On the contrary, the spokesman said, owners have a shared love of the game, mutual respect for each other and our organizations, and a strong working relationship.
Nobody
my
believes
God.
That
he is so guilty, man.
Yeah, that is just like he just set up his pawns, his little mouthpieces to say what everybody wants to hear, but nobody wants to hear it this time. That's the thing.
All right.
There's nowhere from the hide.
So there it is. It's out there. Let's get your text at 888-368-1580, hour 2 right around the corner. We've got ranking some teams that are high on the panic scale in the NFL. Tom Brady, he's going to have to dole out some money. And the Big 12 finalizing schedule that includes Texas and OU, plus Keon Rose's college football dance party. It's all next hour here on the Daily Blender on 1580 The Fanatic.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barata. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Hey guys, it's Stephen McCollum from the main event here on 1580 The Fanatic. And big college football weekend as we have some huge matchups. We'll get you updated on Monday as Arizona goes to Washington and Alabama at Tennessee. Cardinals are in Seattle and around the NFL games and the big Bills-Chiefs matchup. Who wins their Major League Baseball playoff series over the weekend and who has a Game 5? So join me, Stephen McCollum, on the main event, Monday through Friday, noon to 2 p.m. here on 1580, 99.3 FM, The Fanatic.
Greg Clark Automotive Specialists are proud of our U.S. men and women in uniform. We thank you and your families for the sacrifice you've made to defend our freedom and freedom worldwide. We pray for your safety in war and your safe return. We honor those who have given their lives to fight terrorism. This from Greg Clark Automotive Specialists at the corner of 19th and Bethany Hone Road in Phoenix. Experience the Greg Clark difference. Call 602-246-2881. Saying God bless America and please fly your flag.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale, October 14th through the 17th, and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM
and K2.1 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time
for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender. I'm Keon Rose. I am in the control room alongside Randy White, the man, the myth, the legend, the fearless leader of the Fourth Dimension. We're broadcasting live from the Harmon Solar Mega Complex in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we have been talking about a lot. Got a little Major League Baseball in there. Got a little of last night's Thursday night football game, if you could, call it football.
Yeah.
It involved a football, and the rules were roughly followed, I suppose.
There were people playing on a field, yes.
Yeah, so I suppose technically a football game was played at Soldier Field last night. And we've been talking about even beyond that, the Commanders and all of the things going on with Daniel Snyder, and maybe, just maybe, God will finally smile in my direction, in the direction of my lost, wayward, backwards, hopeless franchise that we've been in the wilderness for 25 years, and get Daniel Snyder out of here. It's possible. I don't want to get my hopes up too much. That's the thing, Randy. Is
you got to believe this is the way out. You got to believe this is it, the beginning of the end.
I am starting to think that, but I have seen Daniel Snyder escape so many times when I thought this guy is pinned dead to rights. Somebody's got to get him, and he somehow finds a way to not quite get pinned down. So he's already using his PR skills and getting, the mouthpieces out there to say, well, all the owners have a respect for the game. The owners, some of them do, many of them do, but they all respect money, which is the first and foremost thing. And then, yeah, they all do favors for one another. There are alliances. They don't all agree. So this is where we are in the whole issue. And I hope that this is not the false alarm. This is the actual real thing. And we're seeing the beginning of the end of Daniel Snyder.
Somewhere I was reading today that it would only take 24 of the 32 owners to have a yes vote to remove him as an owner of the team.
That's true. Ask me how many times I've researched that before.
888-368-1580. Kyle G says, could be worse, Keon. You could have Matt Ryan. I think your Wentz problem will solve itself pretty soon. If Carson keeps lead blocking, you'll get Heineke sooner or later.
Well, the thing is, they drafted Sam Howell, the rookie out of North Carolina, who was a projected first-round pick that fell all the way to the 5th round. You know, if things go further south this season, which basically is just one more loss, because then mathematically just go ahead and pack it in. I'd love to see Sam Howell, because they're not on the hook for anything that they've given to Carson beyond this season. It's only a 1-year deal.
Woos says, what's a flaming Dr. Pepper? Well, Woos, let me try to show you here. Hang on. If this first you pour in a glass a Dr. Pepper, and then you set it on fire using a torch or a match or whatever you might have. I have a flamethrower. You see, and that's a flaming Dr. Pepper right there. Woos. Glad I could help. Stockton Slap says, Keon, I'm gunning for your spot. Going to start my legacy doing play-by-play for professional pickleball.
Good luck with that. I say I wish you the best. I hope somebody hears you.
I have a feeling. I think you and Jeffrey are overlooking this wave of pickleball sweeping the nation.
I mean, I've seen people playing it at the park and things, but
I mean, Radio Ron is a advocate for the professional pickleball league.
But I'm watching the people play pickleball, and I'm like, if you're doing this professionally, where's the entertainment? Like, you don't have to move, really.
What do you mean?
You can plant both feet on the ground playing pickleball, and that's it. You don't have to actually go anywhere. Where's the entertainment? I watch tennis sometimes, and at least with tennis, I've seen people running around. You got guys like Rafael Nadal. When they play on the clay, they slide around. Roger Federer is hitting shots around the damn net, which I don't even understand how that works.
Well, not anymore.
I mean, not anymore because he's retired. Yeah. But in his prime, he was doing insane things like that. Then I watch pickleball, and I just don't get it.
Let's see here. King of Kittens says, not the fun size bag, like I tell the ladies. Hello.
Ooh.
Why do I hate myself for that? Against the spread, I told you guys last night's game was going to be a terrible one, but that's an understatement. I tried to order the Bears a touchdown on Amazon Prime, but it didn't work. Yeah, that's a good point. Point.
Yeah.
Boomer Sooner plays pickleball, says Boomer Sooner. I play the game and then play the game, then talk to me.
Why?
Are you directing that at me, Boomer Sooner?
I've been 5 feet from people playing the game. I don't find it interesting. I don't want to play it. I mean, I have been as close to the game without playing it as you can be, and I'm not interested in it.
888-368-1580. Address all hate texts to Keon Rose, sexiest man in sports talk radio.
Please do. I was, because look, when I was 8 years old, I started watching football. I had never played the game. It was fun. I could tell that it was fun. Pickleball, I watched it. I don't get it.
But have you played it though?
No, but
maybe if you played it, you'd have a different.
Maybe, but I've enjoyed lots of sports without playing it. I watch golf. I like golf. I don't play it.
Have you played golf?
No, I've never played golf. Not a round in my life.
Wow. Boomer Sooner says you suck, Keon. Wow. I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know that either.
So earlier today, as I was putting the show together, I something I was looking at. I was watching the Twitter world, and there began this small whispers of Ooh, the NFL is looking into last week's sack by Grady Jarrett on Tom Brady, and Tom Brady might have to pay a fine here. And then it started growing, and then this wave got bigger and bigger and bigger. And before I knew it this afternoon, it was Tom Brady's bank account's going to be taking a hit this week. That's because the NFL has decided to fine the Buccaneers quarterback for his actions during Tampa Bay's 21-15 win over Atlanta in Week 5. During the sack, apparently, Jonathan Jones, CBSSports.com NFL insider, says that it has been confirmed that the NFL has decided to fine Brady $11,139 for a kick that he kicked pass rusher for the Falcons, Grady Jarrett, at 2 different points in the game on Sunday.
I don't remember that.
2 different kicks, but he's only going to be fined for 1.
Was it just one that they thought was more definitive than the other one?
I'm just reading the story on CBSSports.com. NFL trying to determine whether Brady should be punished for allegedly trying to kick Falcons pass rusher Grady Jarrett at 2 different points in the game on Sunday. Apparently, they found that he's only going to be fined for one of them. $11,139.
Okay, there's something there. He because Grady Jarrett kind of steps over him, and when he is getting over, Tom raises his leg and kind of kicks him in the butt.
Is he trying to kick him in the giblets? Is that what he's trying to do there?
Unclear as to where he was aiming.
He just kind of missed because he's really old and slow.
That's possible, but the attempted kick was intentional. Yeah.
You're going to sack me? Okay, I'm going to kick you right in the cha-cha bongos. And he missed and got him in the butt. Is that what it is?
Let's see. Here's the second one. Nope. The second one's even worse, actually. Because they're both on the ground together, and then Tom just kicks him. I didn't notice that the first time.
Well, Tom is under quite distress right now.
True. We hear about it all the time.
But this isn't the first time Tom Brady has been fined for kicking an opposing player. No. 2013, he was docked $10,000 by the league for kicking Ed Reed during the AFC Championship game. What? He's a kicker? Tom Brady is a kicker?
And not the kind that scores your points. No, he has a tendency to do this, apparently. I've never noticed that.
I gotta listen here. You talk about shocked. I thought Tom Brady was a man's man. I thought Tom Brady, was that guy that nothing really bothered him. He just gets up after a sack and moves along. But are you telling me twice now, and twice during a game, they find him one time, and once back in 2013, he kicked the Hall of Famer, Ed Reed, because Ed Reed put a tackle on him? Come on, man.
It's pretty unbelievable, but the video's out there.
Wow. You think that this can't be true? The NFL cannot adopt a new rule allowing Tom Brady to kick the defender that sacks him. There's not going to be a rule like that, right?
Well, technically there already is if they're not throwing flags on it in the game, right?
Remember was it the tuck rule? That was because Brady, he said it was he tucked the ball, and it wasn't a fumble. He was tucking it.
That's true. That is true.
So now there's going to be a kick rule, Tom Brady kick rule, where if nobody flags him for, he is free to kick the opponent.
He already is free to kick the opponent. If he's willing to just take a fine, because that should be on the field a flag. That should be an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Mm-hmm. Exactly my point.
But it's not a flag, and apparently it's never been a flag as far as Tom Brady's concerned.
You know what this says, right, Keon? You know that the NFL saying that we're going to fine him for the kick. They're saying, in my opinion, you might agree or disagree, but they're saying we got it wrong, and Jared should not have been flagged for roughing the passer.
That's true. for a number of reasons that we've discussed throughout the week, that it wasn't actually roughing the passer, that he actually tried not to land on Tom Brady too hard, all of those things. But now we're also finding out that in the course of the play, if anybody was wronged at all, it was Grady Jarrett.
Right.
Who didn't complain about it. I just think this is one of those things that everybody in the league knows, because no one's ever really complained about it before, even though we have at least one other example that was worth $10,000.
Do you think that the officiating crews now will have their eyeballs squarely fixed on number 12 in a different manner? Because it says here that if Brady has a second offense, the 7-time Super Bowl winner will be fined $16,444.
I mean, I would keep an eye out if I were an official, just because they always have, what they call their points of emphasis when they go into the year. Here's something we're going to focus on. Here's something we're not going to focus on. And as the season progresses, they sort of change what those points of emphasis are. For instance, roughing the passer is going to be something that officials are going to pay more attention to, either in the call or no call department, because of the news stories surrounding it. So the league's going to make that a point of emphasis. If this is something that picks up enough traction, it's going to be a point of emphasis.
If you're Keon, help me out here. If you're an NFL player and you've been playing in the league for a long time, and you have a history of kicking opponents that tackle you, shouldn't a second offense come with the fine and a game suspension?
Yes. I mean, that's how it works.
I would imagine that would be the way it should be.
In other sports, if you get a one-time offense, sometimes it can just be a warning and a fine, and then later you get the suspension. But if you're going to acknowledge that this is something wrong and something that you don't want your players engaging in, because what happens if somebody is kicking and they're younger and stronger than Tom Brady? They might actually hurt somebody who isn't paying attention to the kick, who didn't know it was coming, because both of these kicks from Tom Brady happened behind Grady Jarrett's back, essentially. He didn't know that Tom was trying to kick him.
King of Kittens on the text line of 888-368-1580 says, Triscuits and a Coors Light is what I'm snacking.
It's an interesting combination of food, but you do you, my friend.
What the hell does that mean?
I mean, he's eating Triscuits and drinking a Coors Light. Which,
Big George, in anticipation of today's game in San Diego between the Padres and the Dodgers, the Padres have put in some fake geese in their dugout to honor in honor of the goose that turned the tide in Game 2 and helped the Padres win. Goose Gossage is also supposed to be in attendance today. If you don't know what the story is, in the last game between the Padres and the Dodgers in Chavez Ravine at Dodger Stadium, a goose plummeted to the ground to his demise. And people are looking at that as a sign from God that the Padres will win this series. And now the Padres are going to run with this.
I will acknowledge I am not as religious as I used to be. And I do understand that the Lord works in mysterious ways. However, I don't think that he needs to just destroy a goose to help your team win a baseball game. I'm pretty certain that's not necessary in any way.
I mean, this is what I love about baseball, is the sense of humor. The Padres have loaded their dugout with fake geese.
Oh, boy.
And now they're going to have Hall of Famer Goose Gossage. He's going to be in attendance.
Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be?
Oh, my God. Oh, man.
It's stuff like this that just makes baseball the best sport.
Thank you, Big George. Man. Keon says, lacrosse guy, Hall of Fame texter, pickleball is for recreation only, like cornhole. It should not be on TV, and neither should cornhole. It actually is pretty fun to play. It's a cross between tennis and ping pong.
Okay, I can get that. I was never good at ping pong. I okay-ish at tennis, I guess. But
did you hear what Tyreek Hill's doing?
I don't even know.
Miami.
Oh boy, what's he doing?
So in the locker room there, apparently they have a ping pong table, and it has been the center of focus for many players playing ping pong against each other. And Tyreek Hill and another player had this ongoing tournament going on. Well, the ping pong table became damaged, and so it was removed. Well, the McDaniels, the coach, it's his name, right? McDaniels,
Mike
McDaniels, the coach there, thought that the team captains had it removed because it was a distraction, and the players weren't focusing on the opponent. Tyreek Hill came out today and said, "Oh no, it's not necessarily true. I'm having a new ping pong table brought in, a custom-made ping pong table with the Miami Dolphins colors and logo and stuff on it, and we will continue our fierce ping pong tournament." There is nothing like a damn good ping pong tournament, Keon.
It's fun. Just the 2 ping pong tournaments I was in, I lost in the first round. So
I don't. I was a disc jockey back in the 1970s, and I was a weekender, and I worked for 1360 Crux. If you are a longtime Arizona resident, you remember Crux, 1360 AM on your radio dial. Anyway, and we went out to the old Park Central Mall, and we were playing ping pong. I played against I played against the city mayor at the time. Don't remember the name, but the mayor was a big ping pong player, and I was a celebrity ping pong guest player, and I played against the mayor, kicked his ass.
Perfect. I would expect nothing less from you.
I was 17 at the time, and the mayor was probably well into his 40s or 50s. I wore him down. I mean, that's the only time in my life I've seen youthful exuberance outdo old age and treachery. The 0484, don't know if this is a new texter or not, but we're going to ring the bell if it is. New texter here. Says, during a non-kicking play, that is.
Well, even during a kicking play, you're kicking the ball. If you kick a person, that's still, wrong.
That was a random texter. Never mind. Hall of Famer. Random texter. See how it updated just like that? Whammo.
HOF. Yep.
It's Patrick. Says, good afternoon, guys. Are you also pulling for the Seattle Sea Chickens like everyone else? Bite your damn tongue, Patrick.
Like everyone else. Who is everyone else?
Maybe you're not watching on the YouTube. Apparently, you don't know of my background, but I will never, ever pull for the flea-bitten, low-down, squirrel-toothed sea chickens. Ever. Got more text to answer. We'll do that around the corner here. Also, some playoff news, Major League Baseball playoff news. And Ken and I are going to rank the teams that are high on the panic scale in the NFL. That's around the corner here. Ever. Do you hear me? It's Patrick. Ever. I will never root for the Sea Chickens ever. 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
There's no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for $0 down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
Hi, Jada Cantor, Desert Wholesale Diamond, and my dad, Diamond Dave. Lots of people sell diamonds in Scottsdale, but no one like my dad. He really imports diamonds directly from overseas. A few people say this. He really does this. Then he wholesales them direct to you. He designs and manufactures custom rings for wholesale in his own facility, providing top quality service for the lowest price. He does this in our professional offices, giving you one-on-one attention while saving you the rent and overhead of a high-end or big box chain. He saves so much, and he'll do the same for you. Don't pay retail. Work with a 4th-generation GIA graduate, diamond importer, and get her the diamond she wants at a price you want.
Call 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor. Or online at www.diamonddaveaz.com. That's www.diamonddaveaz.com.
One of the things I love about betting on the NFL is that I'm always finding new player or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine these props and other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout, which is perfect for Sunday's games. Same game parlay is just one of the reasons I bet with FanDuel. It's easy to use. The live betting allows you to bet during the game. All my friends use it, and you get fast withdrawals when you win. Right now, new customers get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code Steve1580. That's promo code Steve1580. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports partner of the NFL. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Arizona. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
It's college football time. The Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, the Pac-12, the Big 12, the biggest conferences. Now the side of the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown. The big matchups, the fight for national rankings, the bitter rivalries. We have the biggest games. Get your college game on. Your home for football. 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
It's Friday. I guess you know what that means. This is the Daily Blender, and we're going to have fun because we are going through the afternoon with you till 6 o'clock tonight. Don't forget tonight the Prep 365 game of the week. Do you have the paper in there? Can you tell them who we're playing? Is it like AJ Bayless against Kroger again, or what do we got going on? Do you have the paper? I'll give you. You get the paper next.
Yeah,
time.
I'll put it up on the Twitters.
Lots of things happening. Preps tonight, football tonight. Tomorrow it is the big game between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Tennessee Volunteers. This is in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. This is a home game for the Volunteers, and both teams are in the top 10. Keon Rose's college football dance party. You'll get to hear all of his thoughts about that because it's Roll Damn Tide time.
Roll Damn Tide.
Right. And they're going to Tennessee to take on the Volunteers. Then we have a full slate of football games on Sunday. If I'm not mistaken, Sunday night football. Wait, my headphones are backwards. That's why I sound different.
That will do it. That'll happen. That'll happen to the best of us.
For a moment, I felt out of phase there. I mean, I'm normally drunk, but I felt really out of phase this time. So I apologize. Now we feel better. We've got the Sunday night football, the Monday night football. We're your home for NFL in the Valley. And don't forget, we've got the Christmas Day games. We've got the Thanksgiving games. We've got all the playoff games, the divisional and conference games. We've got Super Bowl 57. It is 57 this time, isn't it, Keon? That's going to be the Super Bowl.
I think so, but
I can never tell. They use a stupid Roman numeral.
With the Roman numerals, I always get thrown off.
Guys,
but I think it is 57.
This is football. Everybody's brain damaged. Just use the regular numbers. Why do we have to use the Roman numerals? I mean, what is that doing for you?
That's a great point. Also, the high school game of the week brought to you by AZ Preps 365. It's a little Northern Arizona action. Prescott versus Flagstaff.
Oh, well, there you Prescott versus Flagstaff Eagles. Let's go Eagles. I say that because I lived in Flagstaff for a while doing radio up there. So I'm a Flagstaff loyalist, but Prescott's pretty too. All right. So there's your lineup. And don't forget to tell your friends about us. We have the Super Bowl. You can hear it live. And now this year, something else that you couldn't do last year, because we're innovators here at 1580 The Fanatic. In our partnership with the NFL, we can now stream the games. See, last year we couldn't stream the games. So if you listen on our app, you can now listen to the games live as they happen. Westwood One on the call of the NFL live here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The text line is humming away here. Boomer Sooner. Boomer Sooner, for some reason, says, lost in the first round, Keon, you haven't played.
I was talking about table tennis. I have played table tennis more than just tournaments.
Oh, yeah. See, now you're underscoring what Twitty is saying here on the text line at 888-368-1580. I believe it's called table tennis nowadays. You know what, Twitty? I call it what I want, and I call it ping pong.
I use it interchangeably. Sometimes I'll say table tennis. Sometimes I'll say ping pong. I'm not paying attention. It's both to me.
Table tennis is a little too snooty for me.
A little too official. That's true. A little too highfalutin.
Yeah, highfalutin. That's good. King of Kidden says, hey, Keon, Browns or Princeton? Dodgers at Padres, game 3 tonight. Sunday afternoon, Buffalo at Kansas City. Cardinals at Sea Chickens. Who you got, Keon? And will the Mariners survive until Sunday? And then he has a picture of the goose that slammed itself into the turf at the field there.
Well, I didn't quite catch all of those games, but you already know my NFL picks.
We did our picks yesterday. Yeah, King of Kittens, listen to the podcast. And as far as the Brown or Princeton, which is on right now, okay, we'll give you one. This is a bonus, Keon Rose's dance party, but we're not going to fire the music and everything because we don't want to blow off the confetti cannons and the smoke bombs, too early here. That's coming up later. But go ahead. What's your take on the Brown Princeton game?
The Brown Princeton game. I don't really have a take on the Brown Princeton game because I have not watched any Brown or Princeton. I do not watch, folks, Ivy League football.
Really? It's too above your head or what?
Well, the football's not great.
That's true.
So, I have a finite amount of games that I can watch in any given week. I choose not to watch the Ivy League games.
And plus the announcers use all those multi-syllable words.
Well, that's true.
We don't understand that. So it's a good point there, Ken. Incarcerated person. Hey, how you doing? Hope everything's well with you. Oh, did I say that too loud? I'm sorry. Incarcerated person says, I played ping pong against the later great DMX. And
really?
Lost. I think he means late great.
I think he means late great. Wow. That's pretty awesome. That's a great story.
Yeah, no kidding. That's pretty cool. Against the spread, I got some picks for your dance party, Keon. Navy might upset SMU tonight. I'm taking some road teams this Saturday, fellas. So here are my picks. Oklahoma State +4 at TCU. North Carolina State +3.5 at Syracuse. Clemson to win at Florida. USC +3.5 at Utah. And my lock of the week, San Jose State -8.5 at Fresno State in the late night contest. There you go against the spread. That's all of his picks. I can read them again if you want. Just text me and ask me. 888-368-1580. It's Patrick says lols. Lols. It's Patrick. You're really getting on my nerves. First, you asked me if I'm going to be pulling for the Sea Chickens. And now you just hit me with a text that says lols.
Knowing damn well that in this house, we root for the Arizona Cardinals.
Let's see here. Random Texter says, Randy, this is Random Texter. You only got half my text, I see, or I heard. Isn't it a penalty if during a non-kicking play, the football is kicked by a player, but it's not a penalty if Tom Brady kicks another player, especially if he kicks another player right in the footballs? You're damn right there.
Yeah. I mean, well, not only is it kicking you're not allowed to try and advance the football or move the football around on the ground, even with your hands.
Well, I wouldn't use your. Listen, they're all sweaty.
Well, look,
I mean, they're out there on the field. You guys are working hard. I wouldn't try to, handle any of those footballs. You see what I'm saying? I mean,
who knows? Who knows where they've been?
Ooh.
I mean, are we talking about the same thing, Keon?
I thought so. But maybe not.
All right. Well, I guess we'll find out later. Kiss to Cook. A goose lost his life and saved the Padres from slaughter. I think not. It's an example to show you how bad it stinks in San Diego. Wow. How bad it stinks in San Diego? I've been to San Diego several times, and I don't remember it stinking. Hello, guys. Happy Friday. Randy, are you still doing the race setup? No, I am not. Next question. Lacrosse guy. Brown, Princeton. That's an awesome lax matchup. Princeton by 2. I think he means lacrosse.
I think, okay.
I think that's
yeah. Okay, so the lacrosse matchup. Well, lacrosse guy. I don't watch very much lacrosse. Not because I don't respect the sport. I just honestly just never really got into it. But that's not because it's not a great game. It's not my deal.
Playoff action, Major League Baseball playoff action. Atlanta at Philadelphia. It's right now. This is bad for Jeffrey because he was pulling for the defending champs. A 7-1 Phillies right now in the 7th.
And I mean, it was a brutal beatdown from the word go. Phillies just got hot from the beginning. They were up 4-0. Bryce Harper knocked in another couple of runs. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Yankees, Aaron Judge is 0 for the series. I just wanted to throw that out there that the Yankees lost in 10 to Cleveland. It's 4-2 final score. Aaron Judge struck out 4 times.
I do wish Jeffrey was here to see. That would be fun.
That's for my old pal right there. Tonight at 8:37 Eastern time. So let me do carry the ones, 4 fingers. Okay, I think that's 5:37 our time. Blake Snell takes the hill for the Padres, taking on Gonsolin for the Dodgers in what should be a pretty good matchup. This is at Petco Field, where the Padres have installed some fake geese in their dugout to pay homage to the goose that lost its life yesterday in Chavez Ravine. 888-368-1580 is the text line. So this is kind of interesting, Keon, and I think this is kind of fun. The Big 12 is finalizing a schedule that includes Texas and Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma, OU. How do you feel about that? Texas, Oklahoma may have 2 more years to wait, but they will be on the schedule for the 23-24 seasons in the Big 12, making 14 teams in the Big 12.
I think that's a good decision by the Big 12. Those brands still have value. There's no point in letting them not be useful to you for the 2 years that you still have them under the agreement to continue to stay in the Big 12 that they have. You could cut them loose early and let them go to the SEC. I'm sure they'd be fine with that. But why? When you could use the value that Texas has and will add to the Big 12 while they're there, and use the value that Oklahoma has and add to the Big 12 while they're there. I see no reason to not try and squeeze as much money out of Texas and Oklahoma while you still have them. I think they should absolutely go for it.
Big 12 is still actively seeking new media rights deal with Fox and ESPN, both engaged in conversations and deliberations and all that. So you think it's cool that they keep putting Texas and Oklahoma on there in the 23-24 football season for the Big 12?
Yeah, because those 2 teams are not – they agree to be in the conference until that long. So even though they've made plans and made agreements to move on, they have to fulfill their obligation to the Big 12. And as long as that's the case, the Big 12 should use their brand power to set up as much money as possible. And look, with the other new schools that they are bringing in, when those schools play Texas and play Oklahoma, then people will get used to seeing them. And then you have some kind of replacement that's at least familiar in a brand sense moving forward.
So what happens, even if the Big 12 strike a new media rights deal with Fox and with ESPN, and Texas and Oklahoma still make their move to the SEC and say, I mean, it's been nice, but it hasn't been real nice. See you losers later. I mean, and these guys have already kind of made their schedule up. What kind of ramifications does that have for the Big 12 and their scheduling for those years?
Well, because with 14 teams in the Big 12, you would actually lose one of the things that the Big 12 likes to boast about, which is that everybody in the Big 12 plays everybody else in the Big 12. Like, you don't have, one of these years where you can duck the best team in the conference. So they would just go back to being that. And they're hoping that they have some teams that are nationally recognized at that point. And they already have a few that are in really good position. Kansas is having a really tremendous season. They're ranked 19th right now. We've got, number 8 Oklahoma State going to visit number 13th ranked TCU. Baylor is not ranked right now, but at one point in the season they were. They're on a skid right now that's making that hard.
Boy, they lost a tough one last night.
Yeah, they sure did. Just a brutal game to West Virginia. But who also has had seasons where they've been really good. The Big 12 just needs a bunch of teams to stay relevant. And I think that at least with Oklahoma State and TCU, they have a foundation and they can build out from there.
The conference is working on a rotation for a 14-team conference slate that will include the new additions BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF, as well as Texas and Oklahoma, which have 2 more seasons in the Big 12 before joining the SEC ahead of the 2025 campaign. So there you go.
And I actually read that the Big 12, they're looking to rebrand. They're not going to be called the Big 12 anymore. So
I wonder what names they could. I bet the Fourth Dimension could come up with some good names for the Big 12. Don't you?
I do. I'd love to hear them.
I mean, instead of, the boring, obvious, the Big 14. I mean, come on. Maybe like a pony keg. The pony keg conference. That's like 14 beers, isn't it?
I don't know.
Pony keg. It's like 14
that could be cool. Do it. I mean, you're in Texas. No one would appreciate it more.
All right. When we come back, it's Keon Rose's college football dance party. Don't change that dial, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-813-8757 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-813-8757. That's 800-813-8757. What do you have to lose? Call 800-813-8757. Again, 800-813-8757.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
The general election is November 8th this year. Voting locations are open on Election Day from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. All qualified voters must show ID. For a list of valid IDs, go online to arizona.vote. Have an early ballot? You can return it at any voting location or secure election drop box, and you don't have to wait in line. Learn more about voting locations at arizona.vote or call 1-877-THE-VOTE. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Secretary of State's office.
Kelly here with AC by J. As an Arizona native, I love monsoon season, but as the owner of a heating, cooling, and plumbing company, AC by J, I know your air conditioner doesn't share my enthusiasm. Monsoon dust, humidity, and power surges can cause havoc to your AC system. Protect your home with our monsoon maintenance. Just $109, $40 off our regular price with a condensation line flush to prevent water damage to your home. Call AC by J at 602-609-7664 or go to acbyj.com. Service you can trust from our family to yours.
1580 The Fanatic.
And at 1580thefanatic.com.
Your home for sports.
Against the spreads on the text line here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic with the Daily Blender. He says Big 12 will end up absorbing ASU, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah. You agree with that, Keon? Big 12?
I don't.
If that's the case, what happens with the Pac-12?
Maybe I don't know that it will happen, but I know they want to. That is a desire that the Big 12 has. They especially ASU and Utah. They really love those two schools because that is, it fits the kind of Southwest profile that they would prefer. But also you have a really good Utah school. And as I've said about ASU in the past many, many times, the perception of ASU outside of here is that it's a program that could be really good that is wasting its potential. So the Big 12 would love to absorb that and see if they could get the right person in there to make ASU live up to that potential. And you have a competitive conference with teams people recognize.
Random texters on the text line at 888-368-1580 and says, instead of the Big 14, how about the Baker's Dozen +1 conference? It's not bad.
It's very wordy, but
I kind of like it. Yeah, I kind of like that.
It kind of suits the Big 12.
I can see that. What kind of a logo with it? It's Baker's Dozen, maybe like a baker's hat, some breadsticks.
There you go.
And then a couple just on the floor, maybe. Yeah, I could see that. The 2887 says the what defense conference? Well, that's another
true. That's
another good point there. Yeah. All right. 888-368-1580. Before we do Keon Rose's college football dance party, I'm going to move that into the next hour. So if you've been waiting for that, fear not, we will do it in the next. Fear not, we will do it. My link is sadly freaking out here. Hang on here. I want to do the teams that are high on the panic scale before we end this hour. There are NFL teams that are seemingly on the panic scale, and I'm talking about teams like. Let's see how we agree about this, Keon. Teams on the panic scale. Number 9 here on this list is the Green Bay Packers. Have they started the panic meter? Are they somehow running around with their hair on fire in Green Bay? Or is Aaron Rodgers going to tell us all to relax?
Yeah, I think that's what he would say. I don't know that it's time to panic in Green Bay. You're 3-2. It's not a great year. I don't think this is a Super Bowl Packers team. But you're 3-2. Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. You've got a bunch of young players who, at least in my opinion, have looked better every single week that they've played, especially that Romeo Doubs. I think that guy's been improving a lot. He's got to improve a whole lot more to get to the point where Aaron really is comfortable with him. But I don't see any reason to panic in Green Bay. No, I just, their defense is solid. They're going to play a lot of low-scoring games, so they're going to have to win near the end. And I don't know that they're going to be, the NFC title game Green Bay Packers that they've been the last handful of years. So, no, I don't think it's time to panic in Green Bay. Their ceiling is just lower.
Yeah, I just think it's time to accept what the team is. And the team is not something that had Devontae Adams on it last year. They've done nothing to help that receiving core. It's a bunch of young receivers. And if Aaron Rodgers goes down, well, then you've always got the savior, Love, coming in to back him up. So I don't think it's panic time. I just think it's kind of, you made your bed, now you have to lay in it. Here's another one. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Everybody is so worried about Mike Tomlin having his first below 500 thing. We all knew coming into the season the Steelers were not going to be that good, especially after TJ Watt went down. I mean, what kind of options do they have? Big Ben is gone. They had the Mitchell. Don't call me Mitch Trubisky, the Hall of Famer, in there, and now they've got Kenny Pickett in early, and it's not working out for them. Do you think that's panic meter time, or is that just another face reality? It is what it is.
Same thing. Face reality. This team was never going to be good. Mitchell Trubisky was never going to be the answer at quarterback. Kenny Pickett was going to have a rough start as an NFL rookie because he was the best rookie in an NFL rookie quarterback draft class. Mm-hmm. A lot of people didn't like. So it was going to be a steep learning curve for him. They don't have a great offensive line. It's pretty bad, which means even their running game suffers. And Najee Harris is awesome, but even he can't overcome at times how bad that offensive line is. That defense has a lot of holes, including TJ Watt, as you said. I don't know what you expect this team to be. And so if you think that you can do better at hiring a head coach than Mike Tomlin, go right ahead. He's going to get scooped up the moment you try to move on from him. So no, I don't think it's time to panic in Pittsburgh.
Are two teams I think that could be on the panic meter right now. Now, you tell me if I'm wrong. The Super Bowl matchup from last season, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams, both teams do not look as dominant as they were last year. And of course, there are some changes, but I mean, the Rams are dealing with some injuries. By the way, in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll talk about the injury report for you fantasy football GMs out there. And Cincinnati has not been as effective. Joe Mixon has not been effective. He looks kind of slow. T. Higgins is hurt. They can't protect Joe Burrow. Are these two teams on the panic meter right now?
I don't think Cincinnati is. They play in a tough division, so that's just going to be part of it too. I'm a little concerned about Zach Taylor's offense. It looks like it took a step back from last year. Like, he hasn't really changed it. It looks like the same offense, which you go to a Super Bowl, a lot of teams are going to have their eyes on you. They're going to pay attention to what you want to do, what your tendencies are. You do have to change some things up and add some new wrinkles. He hasn't really done that. And so they look kind of figured out. I think that there is still hope for the Bengals. I'm not going to panic on them. My hair is on fire about the Rams, though. I think that they should absolutely panic. They have injuries all over that offensive line. It's not good. I still don't know about the status of Matthew Stafford's elbow. They keep telling me it's fine. It doesn't look fine when I watch it on TV. And then, the running game, where is it? Cam Akers. It's not happening. The defense hasn't been dominant on the back end. On the front end, you still have Aaron Donald and those guys. So that's just going to be what it is.
Well, and Matthew Stafford looks off too. He doesn't look like the guy that he used to be. And he doesn't look like the guy from last year.
Stafford, like I said before, Stafford looks like he has an elbow injury. They keep telling me it's not serious. They keep saying to the media, it's not serious. It's not serious. When I watch it, he looks like something is clearly wrong with him. And I don't know what else to make of that, except that his shoulder actually is injured and it actually is serious. So I got to worry about the Rams for a ton of reasons.
All right. What about the Las Vegas Raiders? Are they in the panic meter?
I think that they are in the panic meter. I don't think panic to where your coach is necessarily in trouble. Because Josh McDaniels came in, and I think we all knew it was going to be kind of tough, because when you hire a guy like that who's going to come in and he has this complicated offense that he and Bill Belichick devised for years and years and years, it takes a while for players to learn it. I remember watching an interview with Brandon Marshall one time when he was talking about playing under McDaniels with the Broncos, and he said, it took players forever to learn his offense because it's insanely complicated. So there's going to be an initial step back for the Raiders. But this season, if they want to save it, there's some panic there. They have to absolutely start figuring out how to close out games. Hunter Renfrow has to stop screwing up the ends of games. I don't know what happened where he ran into Devontae Adams. He also had the fumble against the Cardinals in overtime. This is not the best we've seen of Hunter Renfrow. He can play better than that. We know it. So, I would panic if I was the Raiders, because they're clearly underachieving given the amount of talent that they actually have on that roster.
All right, two more teams. One of them is my team, the Arizona Cardinals, and Jeffrey's team, the Indianapolis Colts. Panic meter time for both teams?
It was panic meter from week one with the Colts. The way that they tied that first game against Houston, that set off alarm bells for me that I was not exactly thrilled about. They ought to panic, because Matt Ryan Ryan looks old. And I don't think that when you have a guy that looks like that and can't really push the ball down the field consistently, I don't think you get better from there. So unfortunately for the Colts, along with the step back for Jonathan Taylor this year, I'm not exactly thrilled about where they are this season. I'm less panicked about the Cardinals, to be honest with you, because I always thought that they were going to struggle early until D-Hop got back. And if they're around 500 when he gets back, you're still in a position you can make a playoff push and try and make it to the postseason. So I'm not worried as much about the Cardinals.
But one of the wins, you mentioned the Raiders game. That win was a fluke. That was a complete, total fluke. The Cardinals should not have won that game. And I'll be the first one to tell you that.
They should not have won that game, sort of. But when you're down that big and you come back and the other team has many opportunities to stop you.
Yeah.
You did something correctly. Yeah, it was a fluky way that they ended up winning it in overtime. I understand that. but I still think that, I'm okay with saying that the Cardinals are in an okay place because their offense sometimes shows up to work. I just want to see more consistency out of it, which is really, to me, more consistency out of Cliff. I think that his offense fails too much and relies too much on Kyler Murray making things up as he goes along.
Okay, the last team, are they on the panic meter? It's the Denver Broncos. Russ Wilson does not look like Russ Wilson of old. Right now, Pete Carroll looks like he's brilliant by allowing Russ to walk. Javonte Williams out for the year. Randy Gregory injured as well. Jerry Jeudy not lived up to expectations for this team. The tight end that I had, I can't say his last name. I'm sorry. Ogwe, I'm sure it's a fantastic name, but Albert Ogwe, he has been a ghost this year. Patrick Surtain II. He's okay. He's holding some of that team together, but the rest of it just looks like it's a dark team. And we already know the problems they have with Nathaniel Hackett. Denver Broncos, are they on the panic meter?
They have to be, because they thought they were a Super Bowl team. They thought they were a quarterback away.
Is this a 1 year and out, like a Steve Wilkes situation for the Broncos? Hackett, does he stay past season one?
I would be stunned if he was still there after this season, because he's looked so terrible. They've looked absolutely incompetent. He seems to have no idea what he's doing on third downs and fourth downs. And more importantly, the owners of this franchise were not the people that hired him. So if he makes them look bad, if he's embarrassing, they can just fire him and they don't have to feel bad about it. They can just move right on to the next coach. And I'm not going to panic too much on Russell Wilson. I know he doesn't look good, but there's something up with his shoulder. I believe that. You don't just lose accuracy after 10 years in the league.
Hefty Lefty says Jets and Giants should panic because they're both above 500. So you mean they're in rarefied air? They haven't been here it's been a long time. So they should panic? No, I think they should relax and enjoy the ride, man. Come on.
I think Jets fans are panicking because they don't know what to do with being above 500, but it's okay. You'll get used to it.
Booger Wolf. Oh, great. Booger Wolf is here. Randy, pour me a Budweiser, you ingrown butt hair. Go Niners, you son of a motherless goats. Wow.
It's a lot of anger in that guy.
Wow. Here's your Budweiser. Hope you choke. Joe the Show says, I'm going to be honest, fellas. This NFL year has been absolutely wonky. Not digging it at all. I have to agree. Is this the weirdest NFL season you've seen, Keon?
Yeah, I without question. I think Jeffrey had a stat the other day that was basically like, at this point in the year, this is the first time where everybody in the league has had at least a win. We've just never seen that before. Usually, who the bad teams are, who the good teams are by week 4 or 5. Yeah, I still don't know.
Yeah, but last year, I seem to remember it being kind of weird in the beginning as well. I remember you and Jeffrey both kind of going, dude, what's up? I've never seen anything like this. And this year it's even weirder.
Yeah, they've somehow managed to top themselves and how strange the league is. There are things that I do not recognize. I do not recognize this Lions team and the amount of points that they put up on a weekly basis, the Patriots game notwithstanding. I do not understand watching two teams like the Bengals and the Rams be in the Super Bowl and neither of them look like they're going back this year. I don't get that. I've never seen a team like the Ravens play as good as they've played and then at the last second blow two of the biggest games of their season to the Dolphins and to the Bills. Yeah. The Ravens should be 4-1 too. Yeah, but they're not. So I mean, the Ravens could be undefeated. That's an argument you can have there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the weirdness happened. I could continue. I could name team after team where it's just strange.
Detroit Lions starting out until they went to New England, having the best
offense in the league.
The Detroit damn Lions. Wow.
Dude, what the hell is happening to Geno Smith? I could keep going. I have so many questions that are unanswered.
King of Kittens wants to know, it's ribbon cutting tonight at 5:30 in the Mullet Arena on the campus of ASU at hockey versus Colgate. Who you got, Keon? ASU or Colgate?
ASU.
ASU, my friend. All right, Hefty Lefty, I'll get to your text next. The text line is always open at 888-368-1580. We've ranked the teams on the panic meter. Let us know if you agree or disagree. Round the corner, it's Keon Rose's college football dance party. You're listening to the Flamethrower on a Friday, the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Arizonans are facing big challenges these days. Rising costs at the grocery store, the gas pump, and the pharmacy. That's why Mark Kelly is doing whatever it takes in Washington to bring down costs, even when it means standing up to his own party. The son of 2 police officers, Mark grew up in a house where money was tight. He knows what it means for Arizonans when everyday items cost more. Thanks to Mark Kelly's work, Medicare will finally negotiate down prescription drug prices. Less money spent at the pharmacy means more money stays in your pocket. Mark is leading the effort to cut red tape for truckers and ease supply chain issues. And he's pushing for more domestic oil production to bring down gas prices. Because Mark knows that for a lot of people, every little bit counts right now. Senator Mark Kelly, looking out for Arizona, fighting for us.
I'm Mark Kelly, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mark Kelly for Senate.
Go into Ben Bridge and ask to speak to a bridge. They aren't there. Shane Company, no one named Shane there. Robbins Brothers has been owned by a VC firm for years. Jared, that name came from a focus group. Hi, Diamond Dave Cantor, the only wholesale 4th generation diamond importer, GI graduate that you can actually meet in person. At Desert Wholesale Diamond, I'm importing the diamonds, designing and coordinating the custom rings, and I'm here. Deal with a full-bore retail store. You're paying their huge overhead, their shareholder profit, and multiple mid-level managers. Buying a diamond is a major life moment purchase. You should be dealing with the source, and I'm it. We're in a professional office building to give you the one-on-one service a purchase like this deserves. I'm connected to the largest diamond cutters in the world, cutting out all the layers that add to the price of a diamond.
Call 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow Dave on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale, October 14th through the 17th, and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
This is Joan, enjoying some me time up on the rim. This is Simon and his friends paddling the Salt River. And this is Brad. Brad is, well, no one knows where Brad is. What they all have in common is that they went to azmbdnow.gov to quickly and easily renew their registration or 30 other services. So go to azmbdnow.gov and get more time to enjoy all the things you love.
Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
Quiet, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
Well, we've entered the last hour of the Daily Blender for this Friday. My name is Randy White. That over there, the sexiest man at Sports Talk Radio. That's Keon Rose. You know him. You love him. Jeffrey O'Brien is, he's recovering after taking a football day yesterday. He's recovering. The aftermath is gruesome and horrid. I would say the aftermath of Jeffrey O'Brien taking a football day yesterday is worse than Montezuma's revenge.
Oh boy!
You know, when you go down to south of the border, our friends down in Mexico there, and you maybe have some of that ceviche, some of those street tacos, perhaps not prepared in the most sanitary of conditions, and you come home with the Montezuma's revenge, where you're driving the throne bus like for hours. But it's exiting your body from both ends. Montezuma's revenge. I think this may be a bit worse than
That is
Montezuma's
incredible
revenge.
because that is a high standard to clear.
Let me see here. The 8370 says, and I apologize that it's the text lines, not me. The 8370 says, Randy said Denver Bonkers. That sounds about right. Thumbs up. Thumbs up to you, 8370. Kyle G says, this NFL season of chaos, and I love it. More blown leads, more backup kickers. Let's have some craziness and fun. Thank you, Kyle G.
You better believe the league is loving this too.
Booger Wolf says, Big Georgie likes the Broncos. This team is what he deserves. Better off with the chiclet tooth game playing quarterback. What?
Wait,
chiclet tooth game GM. Oh, better off with a chiclet tooth GM playing quarterback. Better off. Oh, he means old oral horse teeth. John Elway.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he means. I got it.
I don't even think Big George roots for the Broncos.
I don't think Big Georgie roots for the Broncos. Booger Wolf. You may be slightly drunk. Kiss to Cook says, even though I hang out with the Padres during spring training, I'm not a fan of San Diego. Sucks times 10.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I listen, everyone has a right to their own opinion.
Just what did the Padres do to you?
I mean, what did the Padres do to you, man? I mean, especially if you hang out with them. Hefty Lefty says, per the Amazon broadcast last night, the last time both teams that played in the Super Bowl ended the following year with a sub 500 record was 1999 with the Broncos and Falcons. Yay, Broncos. Plus, Hefty Lefty says, Montezuma's revenge is a fun roller coaster at Knott's Berry Farm. No, sir. No, sir. I need to correct you. I need to. If you notice that roller coaster is brown, there is a reason. You'll notice that the roller coaster is a back and forward loop-de-loop. There is a reason for that.
The roller coaster is based on the actual real life experience.
Coming and going. That's all I'm going to say about Montezuma's revenge.
Coming and going.
888-368-1580. Let's get to it. We've been waiting long enough. Let me get to the right page here. That's not the right page. Hang on just a second. Let me get to the page here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for that boogie down segment you look for all week. It's Keon Rose's college football dance party. Oh, Keon, we got a lot of fun games to talk about this week, my friend.
We really do.
And there's some that are happening later on tonight I'd like to ask you about. Temple at UCF. No, I'm sorry. That already happened. Never mind. I'm moving on to Saturday. All right. The big one that's happening in the big house, number 10, Penn State coming in to take a look and take a swing at number 5, Michigan. Who you got in this game?
So I've been a fan of what Michigan's been able to do so far this year. I think that they are playing absolutely brilliant football, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I've noticed a pretty disturbing trend with the old Wolverines there up north, which is J.J. McCarthy. Every game that he plays, they push the ball downfield less and less. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they're moving into their Big Ten schedule. And it's been harder for him to throw the football. The Big Ten teams that they're playing are better than the schools that they scheduled earlier in the year. And so now J.J. McCarthy is going up against Maryland and kind of struggling there, but they won that game. I don't think that you get to do that against Penn State and win. You do have to push the ball downfield. I think Penn State's going to put a lot of guys in the box. Dare Michigan to throw it over them, and I just don't think J.J. McCarthy and the Wolverines can. Meanwhile, Sean Clifford, who's been at been at Penn State for about 6 years.
Sean Clifford, isn't he that big red dog dude? He's that big red dog, right?
Clifford the dog is the big red dog.
Yeah.
Sean Clifford is the 8-9 year quarterback at Penn State. Now,
I'm sorry, I got my wires crossed. Sorry, go ahead.
He's been there for about 6 years, but it feels like he's been there for 10. So Sean Clifford's been playing incredibly. Penn State every single game, their defense stands up and makes a big play that actually I find incredible. So I'm going to go with the Penn State Nittany Lions here to pull off the upset over the Michigan Wolverines.
Wow. Michigan on upset alert. My son-in-law having now I teased him because my grandson is spending the night with me and Miss Kim Maverick. And he is the first and only born so far of my daughter, Emily, and her husband, Glenn. Glenn is an avid Michigan fan. He is also an avid Yankees fan. So, I mean, if Michigan loses tomorrow,
it'll be a rough 48 hours for your boy.
Oh, the joy.
One of the worst 48 to 72 hour periods of his life, I'm willing to bet.
All right, so Auburn is going to number 9 Ole Miss. Ole Miss wins, right? We don't even need to talk about it, right?
No, we don't need to talk about it. Auburn's in a lot of trouble. I don't think that their head coach Brian Harson's even going to make it out of the season. He may get fired, which is a shame because I think Brian Harson's a really good coach. But it just goes to show you when the fan base expects you to compete for championships every year, even one down year doesn't help you with them. And so Brian Harson's in a lot of trouble just because he is a non-SEC guy in a storied SEC program and struggling. So, yeah, I think Ole Miss is going to roll on them. All right. 19 Kansas on their way to Norman, Oklahoma to take on the Sooners. Boomer Sooner. Who do you got here? Because on the Twitterverse, I see a lot of Oklahoma people going, please, dear God, don't lose to Kansas. Don't lose to Kansas. Which is weird because, see, this is the year that you would actually get some sympathy from losing to Kansas. This is as good a Kansas team as there's ever been. Now, for me, look, Texas lost to Kansas last year, a few years back, and Oklahoma fans laughed. So there's no pity coming for me if you trip up and lose to Kansas. And I will say this, Kansas, they can run the football, and what can OU not do? What did we watch them not do last week? What did we watch them not do 2 weeks ago against TCU? Tackle ball carriers. They weren't able to do it against Texas. They weren't able to do it against the Horned Frogs. I don't think they can do it against Kansas either until I see a game where I watch Oklahoma Sooner football players completing tackles. I can't pick them against ranked teams. Weird that it's Kansas because Oklahoma's beaten Kansas 17 times in a row. That streak's breaking on Saturday.
Let's see. And another one. Who is it that keeps asking us to talk about the Golden Gophers?
I forgot who that was, but we'll go ahead and do it for him.
Hope you're listening. Minnesota Golden Gophers traveling to Illinois to take on number 24 ranked the Illini. There's also somebody that's a big Illini fan on the text line.
There is.
This is a texter on texter showdown here. Who do you got in this Minnesota Illinois game?
Yeah, this is. I know that Minnesota's not ranked, but they're 4-1, and PJ Fleck, he is the great motivator of men. That guy gets everybody in the locker room fired up. You can watch him, and all those players love him and play for him. I like the Fighting Illini a lot, but there are some things that I find particularly concerning about where they are. They're not a big play down the field kind of team. They have made a few of those plays, but they haven't made nearly enough this season. Minnesota technically isn't either, but they do it more than Illinois does. Push the ball down the field, try and stretch defenses out. But the other thing is, I think they have an incredible running back in Muhammad Ibrahim. He's been pretty phenomenal this season. He's got 8 touchdowns so far for the Golden Gophers. So I think that given the fact that Minnesota can push the ball further downfield, really test the defense, and they have the better running back, I'm going to go with the Golden Gophers to win this game and upset the number 24 ranked Illini.
All right. It all happens tomorrow on the Big Ten Network. Another game here. This used to be a real premier game back in the day when the U, as everybody calls them, Miami, the Hurricanes, when they would take on Va Tech. This time it's the Miami traveling to Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia, to take on Va Tech. Who do you have in this outing? And Cristobal from Oregon. He's guiding the U, but he hasn't. This is his first season, right? So it's going to be a while. But who do you see in this U Miami against Va Tech?
Yeah, Mario Cristobal wants to build the University of Miami Hurricanes in his image. And by that, they have to play physical. They've got to be in the trenches. They've got to be big in the trenches. He just hasn't had enough time recruiting to make that team. But I think it's interesting because this is a sneaky good game. I know 2 losing records, 2-3 for Miami, 2-4 for Virginia Tech. But we have 2 coaches that are kind of brought in to do the same thing. Mario Cristobal came in to try and revive Miami, and Brent Pry was hired to revive Virginia Tech and get them back to the standard that they're used to. So you have 2 teams that are desperate to try and turn things around. However, Miami, they have the better offensive attack overall, especially when it comes to throwing the football. They're about 100 yards better than Virginia Tech per game on that basis. And I will always favor the team that can spread guys out, that can make mismatches down the field. I also not that opposed to what Miami's been able to do defensively. I think Virginia Tech is just a little bit more behind Miami in their rebuild at this particular point. But it's going to be a fun game.
Hefty Lefty says Minnesota going to row that boat. Are they still doing that? Because I
don't know if that's what they're still doing, but I
still doing that.
I have seen PJ Fleck get fired up about it, so I think maybe it's still around.
Twittiot has a question. Is it worse if the Sooners lose to Texas or Kansas?
Well, it depends on how they lose to Kansas. The fact that Texas didn't just beat them, but shut them out while putting nearly 50 on them, that's bad. Yeah, but if Oklahoma is competitive against Kansas and they lose, the Texas loss will just be worse because they didn't score.
All right, the scene turns to Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee, as the Volunteers, ranked 6th in the country, welcome in the Crimson Tide of Alabama, the number 3 team in the country. Those big old Alabama boys are going to come in here and take on the Tennessee. For some reason, I have lost my mind. Alabama, Tennessee. Vol's looking for some revenge. I think this is going to be the game of the week. What say you, Mr. Keon Rose?
I agree. It is going to be the game of the week. And look, all the Tennessee fans know what this game usually is. I mean, it's generally the 3rd Saturday in October. You get this big matchup, and Tennessee fans have not seen their team really show up in a position to compete in this game for a very long time, all because, 70, 80 some odd years ago, there's a guy named General Neyland who went back and won so much that he created this rivalry. And now years later, we're kind of stuck with a rivalry that's been rather lopsided in favor of the Crimson Tide. I say no more because Hendon Hooker, first off, he's the quarterback of the Tennessee Volunteers. Hendon looks like a Heisman Trophy candidate, if not a winner. I mean, he looks like he's in every bit position. Check this out. 10 touchdowns for Hendon Hooker. No interceptions this season. He takes care of the football. He's a tremendous runner. He's one of the team leaders rushing the football as well. But they also have other backs that they go to run the football. So Hendon Hooker, I think, is the X factor in this game. That and Bryce Young. I don't know how healthy he is. I don't know if he's going to play. I don't know how effective he's going to be if he plays. And because I'm worried about Bryce Young and because Alabama did not look like the explosive offense that they have looked like in recent years, just a few weeks ago, last week even, they really struggled offensively. Tennessee is the kind of team, they score fast, they play with a lot of tempo, and I think that this is not a good matchup for Alabama if Bryce Young is hurt. I'm taking the Volunteers.
Think if he does play, Bryce Young, I'm speaking of, he's going to be on a pitch count, don't you?
He's going to be on a pitch count, or they're at least going to monitor him, and if things start to look bad or if the shoulder starts to look a little funky, they might pull him.
All right. Listen, if you're going to be in the area of Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, great tickets still available for as low as $389. All right. Next game on tap. Number 8, Oklahoma State. Stampedes into number 13, TCU, and Amon G. Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas. Who do you got in this matchup?
It's tough to pick against TCU at home because I've done it twice this year and I've been wrong. They are absolutely tough. But you got 2 teams right now that are undefeated in Oklahoma State and TCU. And I really, really find it difficult to have to pick against Spencer Sanders, who is having a tremendous year as quarterback for Oklahoma State. 12 touchdowns, a couple of interceptions. He's got the ability to extend plays. He's incredibly mobile. If he tucks the ball and runs it, he looks like a running back. He's that fast. He's shifty. He's hard to bring down. They play really good defense. Mike Gundy just knows football, man. When he has a really good team, Oklahoma State, they've traditionally been hard to beat. I would be stunned if Oklahoma State isn't able to win the Big 12 with the way that they've been playing. They've looked like the best team in it every single week, and they've managed to avoid the injury bug too that a lot of the other Big 12 teams have faced. This is a really damn good Oklahoma State team. TCU, of course, Max Duggan, I think he's the second best quarterback in the Big 12. So it's going to be a premier battle of great quarterbacks, great coaching going on here with Sonny Dykes as the head coach at TCU. And look at the job he's done, just picking up where TCU is left off traditionally. So I'm going to go and take Oklahoma State because of how well that they have played, how consistently they've played. I think TCU's had some games where they've had to grind it out, but it's going to be a great game.
All right. Probably our last game, because I believe ASU is on a bye week this week and they are not playing, so they win. And number 7, USC travels to Utah to take on the number 20 ranked Utah Utes. Who you got in this matchup?
Yeah. Again, for just time after time, we keep watching like this Utah football team kind of get a little overlooked. USC has been really good this year. Obviously, they're undefeated, but now this is the point where they're getting into the tougher part of their Pac-12 schedule, and I expect them to struggle at least a little bit. I know that Lincoln Riley's got everything installed and it looks like it's moving smoothly, but they still struggle to run the ball a whole hell of a lot. And I think when they get some of these leads, not all of these leads are necessarily safe because they actually have to run the ball to actually burn the clock to win the game. Yeah. And they haven't been able to necessarily do that consistently. So they ended up with, a couple of games where you look at it and go, ooh, that could have been a more convincing victory, but instead it wound up being closer than it probably should have been. Utah and Cameron Rising, they've been really, really good. So I want to lean towards Utah because of just what Cameron Rising has looked like this year. But I think from top to bottom, the roster that has been the most consistent out of the two teams has been the Trojans. So I will go with USC on the road.
All right, there it is. This week's Keon Rose's college football dance party here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. When we come back, we have so much more to talk about, including on the state and Big George's sports history. We've got, oh my goodness, your text on the text line at 888-368-1580. And can you believe it? Deshaun Watson facing another civil lawsuit. Can it be true? And we'll talk about that next here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brian Musburger's action update for Arizona's new home for sports, The Fanatic. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Both American League Division Series continue today. The Astros minus 150 on the money line this afternoon against the Mariners in Houston. Seattle at plus 135, 7 the over-under. Later tonight, the Guardians plus 124, the Yankees at minus 134, the over-under at 6.5. NLDS play continues on Friday with Game 3 between the Braves and Phillies and Dodgers and Padres. Opening week for the 2022-23 NHL season, the Colorado Avalanche at plus 425 favorite to win the Cup with the Maple Leafs at plus 750 and the Oilers, Panthers, Rangers, and Hurricanes each at plus 1,200. Red hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. For vsin.com, I'm Trey Westerberg on Arizona's sports betting station.
Are you a planner? Do you like to plan ahead? Then, of course, you already have a plan to call Harmon Solar, right? Bruce Jacobs here. It should be at the top of your list to get solar now and enjoy huge savings next summer. Up to 85% on your monthly bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Then you can plan what to do with all that extra money. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, women-owned, local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale, October 14th through the 17th, and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
It's time once again for the Harmon Solar 1580 The Fanatic NFL Fan Pick'em Contest. First prize is $1,580 from Harmon Solar. Second prize, a Zebra e-bike from Hemingway. And $500 third prize from Harmon Solar. Sign up today. Go to 1580thefanatic.com. The Harmon Solar 1580 The Fanatic NFL Fan Pick'em Contest. From your home for the NFL in the Valley. 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender of 1580 99.3, The Fanatic. Lots going on the text line. Let's clear this out. Thank you, Joe, the show. Appreciate you, and we'll do that after the show. Heavy Metal Maniacs. Anybody but the Padres or Dodgers, Diamondbacks fans can't stand either one of them. All right, there you go, Heavy Metal Maniacs. Hope you're doing well. Kiss to Cook says, Shaky Amendola kicking for the Cards for their next game. Well, yeah. He says he's got 30-1 odds. The next shake will hit his grandma right in the head. Well, thank you. Hefty Lefty says, one of the most interesting things I've seen with this NFL season is the first 7 games of the Colts schedule. 5 of their first 7 games are division games. After week 7, they don't play another division game until week 18. I've never seen that front-loaded, that many front-loaded division schedule in my 3 decades of watching football that I can remember anyway. Well, thank you for that comment there, Hefty Lefty. Let's see. The 7274 says, is it Friday yet? Can we start drinking yet? I think 7274 is Florida mustard. And you can certainly start drinking.
You're an adult. You can.
Yeah, I mean, it is
whatever.
Friday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kiss to Cook, since my uncle is a professor at KU, Boomer Sooner, would you like to buy a 0? Go Jayhawks! Would you like to buy a 0? What does that mean?
I'm not sure I follow, to be honest.
888-368-1580. Deshaun Jackson is in trouble again. I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson is in trouble again. He is facing a new lawsuit stemming from a 2020 massage. It's the 26th known lawsuit filed against Watson, accusing him of inappropriate sexual misconduct or sexual assault during massages.
And the details are, I mean, just as disgusting as they have been. You know, she says she was forced into a certain
situation,
certain acts that shall not be repeated on this here broadcast, but it looks like it's continuing. And why wouldn't it? We always suspected that if you're going through this many massage therapists, how many of them never came forward? How many of them did not say anything because they were afraid? So now here we are again.
Does this open up the investigation again? And does the NFL do anything about this?
Unless he's found guilty of something, I don't think the NFL is going to touch it again. I think the NFL wanted to put that to bed as fast as they possibly could. That's why they brokered the deal with Deshaun Watson the way that they did. That's the reason why Deshaun Watson, despite being suspended, is actually in the team facility, working, practicing, all that stuff, because they kind of had no leverage because of how fast they wanted to resolve this situation. And that allowed Deshaun Watson and his camp to be able to negotiate certain things about the suspension that most people don't normally get to negotiate when they're being suspended.
Well, this is, to me, it's troubling. I think if this is a new civil lawsuit, they should reopen this thing and really take another look at it, because clearly the NFL missed it. And I don't care. I don't care what y'all think about the NFL or Deshaun Watson. I don't care. In my opinion, the NFL missed this by 10 miles, and they were too cowardly to take this on themselves by calling these independent judges into the situation. I think this is a miscarriage of justice, and I don't care what anybody says about it. This is horrible, and it's abhorrent, and it should be. When you say the guy has predatory behavior, you use that kind of language, and then you only suspend this guy 11 games and fine him only $5 million out of a $200 million plus contract. Are you kidding me?
And the suspension was the contract was designed to avoid the pay loss during the suspension, and the league knew it, and still allowed that suspension to be exactly when it was. So Deshaun Watson has lost basically nothing, except for his reputation, which he deserved to lose.
Well, apparently not. I mean, have you seen the stuff? The fans in Cleveland are still slobbering over the fact that he's on their team.
Yeah,
and he's back into the damn the building today.
Yeah, and look, and I think the fans in Cleveland, they're doing what fans do, which is being irrational. And unfortunately, this is the place where it's being applied. It should not be applied here, but that's what's going to happen. And that's why I try and have a little empathy for the Cleveland fans, because I have a long-suffering team too.
After the signs I've seen, no way.
No, if you were holding one of those signs, if you were giving one of those signs to your kid, which I saw a picture of, where one of the kids was holding a sign about, calling the accusers this, that, and the third, essentially everything but a child of God. It was just absolutely horrific. That stuff cannot be forgiven. But
when Deshaun Watson retweets it on his Twitter, he retweets that stuff.
I did not know that. Mostly because I've been avoiding his Twitter. I don't want to see anything else that Deshaun Watson has to say. But
I'm sorry,
it's bad.
Yeah,
it's just bad.
And this is something that NFL fans who are sickened by this are going to have to deal with. Sorry, that's the way it is. So Deshaun Watson hit with another civil lawsuit. I hope they end, because he didn't settle with one, and now you got this new one. I hope these two right here take $200+ million in some sort of a lawsuit and spread it around to the rest of these ladies that were involved in this that have probably not for sure, but probably been damaged by this.
I mean, some of them have been. I know Ashley Solis is just. She was the first woman that actually came forward, and she's like, I can't do massage therapy again, because how can you go into a room with somebody and know that there's not going to be another Deshaun Watson there? That's going to leave a mark on somebody forever.
Big George says, how many sexual assault allegations will it take for the NFL to kick Deshaun Watson out of the league? 30, 50, 100, 1,000? I can't believe the pass Deshaun Watson is getting for all of this. Yeah. And he's super wealthy too, Big George, on top of it. And Cleveland still wants him to be their quarterback. And the NFL brokered a deal with him to get back into the training facility weeks before he starts for them after the 11-game suspension.
It's just scummy. And my thing is, I feel bad for the Browns fans, not the ones that have been holding those signs, but I have friends who are Browns fans that are disgusted. They don't know what to do.
Gotta change teams, man.
Yeah. I think
burn all your Browns material. That's the way you get something done here. But it won't happen. 888-368-1580. So this is a case. Is this a case of believe it or I don't think so?
My favorite game.
Deshaun Jackson says ready to go for a return to Philadelphia. Now, remember, this wide receiver, Deshaun Jackson, was on the Eagles before. And he appeared on the I Am Athlete show hosted by former Cincinnati Bengal Adam Pac-Man Jones. Jones asked Jackson who was mulling retirement if he's officially called it a career after 14 seasons in the NFL. Here's his quote. This is Deshaun Jackson's quote here. Quote, "Hell nah, I ain't retired. I'm a free agent and ready to go." According to the podcast producer, Omar Kelly followed up with a question and asked the Eagles wide receiver which teams were included on his destination list for the season. Jackson said, quote, he named Philadelphia as his number one choice. Well, sure it is, because they're winning.
And he used to play there.
His second choice is the Green Bay Packers. Nobody else. He's not listed anything else.
I don't know why the Packers don't do that. Just take a swing at it.
Is this a case of, have you looked at his picture though? I mean, he's got gray in his beard.
Look, because last year for the 5 games I think he played with the Rams, the cup of coffee that he was there, he was Deshaun Jackson. He was fast. He made big plays down the field, but you're going to have him for exactly 3 games. He can't stay healthy. He couldn't stay healthy in his prime. He can't stay healthy now.
Hell nah, I ain't retired. I'm a free agent and ready to go.
No, you're retired. The league decided you're retired. Sometimes you get to decide. Sometimes the league decides.
632 catches throughout his career for 11,110 yards, 66 touchdowns. Selected to play in 3 Pro Bowls. You think if and when he retires? Hell nah, I'm a free agent. Do you think he's Hall of Fame worthy?
He's a bubble Hall of Famer, but yeah, he's done a lot. I have to see his numbers relative to some of the greats, but just in terms of some of the big moments, big plays, big teams he's been on, yeah, I would be inclined to say yes, but not first ballot.
888-368-1580. Did you? I don't know if you heard about this. Before I went on the air, I saw this. Cam Akers ruled out versus the Panthers due to personal matter. Sean McVay non-committal on the running back's future. They've been trying to get Cam Akers going, trying to get him going. Well, according to a report out today, Cam Akers won't play in Sunday's game against the Panthers due to personal reasons. Akers did not participate in practice on Thursday or Friday in preparation for Carolina. McVay said the team's working through the situation, but declined to speculate on Akers' future with the team.
Well, because it hasn't been working. They were hoping that he would be able to boost their running game, help them run the ball, take some pressure off of Matthew Stafford. That's just not been happening. So Cam Akers, I hope that everything that's going on in his personal life, I hope everything's okay and that the personal issue isn't anything that's too bad. But the fact of the matter is he hasn't been as productive as they'd hoped. Sean McVay, I think, got maybe a little too full of himself, thought he could scheme Cam Akers into some big plays, but that doesn't necessarily work if the guy doesn't have the explosiveness that he used to have. He's a running back, and sometimes those guys wear down even faster than you'd expect.
All right, let's go through the injury report for you guys. I'll just kind of go down here for the Patriots versus the Browns up first. It looks like Jacoby Myers, a wide receiver, he will be out, he's questionable. He had limited participation in practice this week. So for the Patriots, Jacoby Myers, if you have him, DeMarcus Mitchell, a defensive end, if you have the Patriots defense, he was limited in practice as well. Jonnu Smith, he's limited in practice and also listed as questionable. Mac Jones, ankle, limited in practice and questionable. He might still play, though, and the way the games play there in New England. And for the Browns, let's see, Taven Bryan is limited in practice, but not listed as questionable or out. So the Browns defense, if you have them, might still be good to go. Jadeveon Clowney, he will be out. Amari Cooper is back and in full participation in practice. So if you have him, there you go. Myles Garrett, he's did not practice. He did not participate, but I don't see his status here, whether he was ruled out or not. The Ravens at the Giants. Rashad Bateman is out for this weekend's game. Marcus Peters did not practice. So, but there's still not it's not doubtful or questionable or anything like that. Calais Campbell did not participate in practice, but again, no status for him. So if you have the Ravens defense, I think you're safe. I think he's probably going to end up playing. Saquon Barkley was limited participation in practice. I think that's just because, he's probably a little sore and they don't want to overdo it. Kenny Golladay did not practice. He is out this week for the Giants. Kadarius Toney, hamstring. He is out this week.
That's big.
Tyrod Taylor, well, he's the backup quarterback. Full participation. Sounds like he's back, but Danny Dimes is going to be the starter, I'm sure. Jets Packers. CJ Mosley was full participation. So if you have the Packers defense, that's good news. Dwayne Brown, their tackle on the offensive line. Yeah, he's questionable. Let's see here. That's for the Jets. For the Packers, Mercedes Lewis did not practice. Rashawn Gary, he is questionable. David Bakhtiari, limited, but it doesn't say he's out. That guy is a warrior, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he'll play through anything.
The Bucks, I need to speed it up here. Bucks against the Steelers this week. Julio Jones knee, he's doubtful for the game. But who didn't hear Julio Jones being doubtful this season at all, right?
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Brashad Perryman is back, so that's probably good news for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Cameron Brate, he was a full participant. Mike Edwards, questionable. He's the safety. Steelers, Dante Johnson, he was a full participant. So it looks like he's going to be good to go. For the Steelers, not a whole lot there. Vikings, Jalen Naylor was a full participant, so that's probably good if anybody has him. I'm trying to think about this for the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa is still out.
Has to be, yeah.
I'm trying to think from a fantasy perspective. You know what I mean? Raheem Mostert is a knee questionable, limited in practice. Might be a game time decision, maybe. The 49ers, Falcons. I think this is actually going to be a better game than we anticipate, Keon.
The Falcons have been decent.
Yeah.
I mean, Mariota's not great, but
Mariota's been okay.
He's been solid. Yeah.
Yeah. Tyron Davis Price, the running back for the 49ers, looks like he's back. Nick Bosa has a groin. He did not practice, and he's questionable. So your defense might be hurting there. Jeff Wilson, a running back. He's okay. Full participant. Boy, the Falcons seem to be in good shape. Kyle Pitts is still questionable. He was limited in practice with a hamstring. Bengals, boy, they can't afford this, Keon. La'el Collins is still limited. He doesn't say his status. And then you've got Jonah Williams, another tackle, who's questionable, and he did not participate.
And that stinks because those are the two good players on the offensive line.
Yeah. Hayden Hurst is still hurt with a groin. He's questionable. Samaje Perine, limited, but no status. So sounds like he's going to be okay. T. Higgins did not participate and questionable for you fantasy owners out there. All right, that's all I have for right now. I could come back to it. I've got more of your texts. I've got on this date in Big Georgia sports history. It's all around the corner on this Friday edition of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Arizonans are facing big challenges these days. Rising costs at the grocery store, the gas pump, and the pharmacy. That's why Mark Kelly is doing whatever it takes in Washington to bring down costs, even when it means standing up to his own party. The son of 2 police officers, Mark grew up in a house where money was tight. He knows what it means for Arizonans when everyday items cost more. Thanks to Mark Kelly's work, Medicare will finally negotiate down prescription drug prices. Less money spent at the pharmacy means more money stays in your pocket. Mark is leading the effort to cut red tape for truckers and ease supply chain issues. And he's pushing for more domestic oil production to bring down gas prices. Because Mark knows that for a lot of people, every little bit counts right now. Senator Mark Kelly, looking out for Arizona, fighting for us.
I'm Mark Kelly, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mark Kelly for Senate.
Hi, Jada Cantor, Desert Wholesale Diamond, and my dad, Diamond Dave. Lots of people sell diamonds in Scottsdale, but no one like my dad. He really imports diamonds directly from overseas. A few people say this, he really does this. Then he wholesales them direct to you. He designs and manufactures custom rings for wholesale in his own facility, providing top quality service for the lowest price. He does this in our professional offices, giving you one-on-one attention while saving you the rent and overhead of a high-end or big box chain. He saves so much, and he'll do the same for you. Don't pay retail. Work with a 4th-generation GIA graduate, diamond importer, and get her the diamonds she wants at a price you want.
Call 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor. Or online at www.diamonddaveaz.com. That's www.diamonddaveaz.com.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Daily Blender for Friday is we are starting segment number 3 in the home stretch, headed for 6 o'clock tonight. My name is Randy White. That is Keon Rose, and we are attempting to get you home on a Friday. 888-368-1580 is your way to get into the program, like Bruno Baller, whose comment when we were talking about Deshaun Watson having yet another civil lawsuit brought against him, another accusation of sexual misconduct. Bruno Baller says the Ravens are the original Browns. Yeah. I mean,
they are, but the league helped them. That's the difference. Is that the cover up was a league cover up because the league was deciding what to do. It's not like the Ravens had Ray Rice on the team already. Ray Rice did something and was supposed to be suspended, and the league hid the video. So that's different in that regard, where Deshaun Watson wasn't even in the league.
Well, I mean, what about what's his face, the linebacker?
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
Yeah. The thing is
that whole murder cover up thing.
He didn't kill anybody
that we know of,
but we have to know of it before the league is actually able to do something, or the Ravens are able to do something. And the police determined Ray Lewis did not commit any crime. So once the police determine that, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Ray Lewis put himself in an incredibly bad spot, but I don't know. When I read the stuff, go back and read the stuff on it, it doesn't look like Ray Lewis actually killed a person. That's just just say that a lot, and we should probably,
if they could only find that suit, if they could just find that suit.
Yeah, he was there for sure. But he didn't kill anybody, and nobody killed anyone at the behest of Ray Lewis. So I don't put that in the same camp where Deshaun Watson, how many people,
Yeah.
have come out? And again, Ray Lewis was on a team, and the police did an investigation and the league did an investigation, and they didn't find anything. In this case, the police did an investigation. Well, it was in criminal court, and it got thrown out of criminal court. But the league did an investigation, and the investigation says Deshaun Watson most likely did what he is accused of doing, and the Browns still signed him despite that.
Yeah, it's just I'm sorry. Let's not end Friday on this. How about we do on this date in Big George's sports history, shall we? Back in the year 1964, Billy Mills, a Native American Marine lieutenant from Kansas, who was given no chance to win one of the best 10,000-meter fields ever assembled, shocked the world when he won the gold medal at the Tokyo Summer Olympics. Mills was a complete dark horse who barely qualified for the United States squad and was considered a 1,000-to-1 shot. How would you like to have had that bet? I mean, wow. 1,000-to-1 bet. Mills, now 82, lives with his wife in Sacramento, California, and remains the only American winner of the 10,000-meter race. Thank you, Big George. Thank you. Oh, boy. 10,000. I mean, 1,000-to-1.
Those are
Put a
pretty
hundy
insane.
down. Put a hundy down on that one. You know what I mean?
And you're having a pretty nice day.
Big George is on the text line. Thanks, Big George. He says, so if the Padres get past the Dodgers in this NLDS and the Phillies get past the Braves in their series, the San Diego Padres would have home field advantage in the NLCS. How about that? Well, that is the rule. The team with the better record gets the home field advantage. What point are you trying to make here, Big George? I'm just asking. 888-368-1580. How about we spin the wheel of sports, Keon? You up for something like that?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. So, Dateline, Arkansas. What's his name here? Hang on. Morrilton Country Club is the place for the tournament of the century, and their number one prize, $1,500 for top flight winners, but a 2022 Ford F-150 4x4 Super Crew. We're talking about Arkansas here, so we're talking about all these guys out there want that Super Crew. And Austin Claggett, old Austin Claggett, got up on the 10th hole around 2 p.m. during the tournament on Saturday, October 8th. He sunk a hole in one, and that was the outline. If you sink a hole in one, you get to win. You win this truck right here. And here's a picture of him holding that the ball that went in the hole on the 10th there at Morrilton Country Club in Arkansas, standing seemingly in front of his brand new 2022 Ford F-150 4x4 Super Crew, valued at $53,595. Highlighted on social media by a country club of Morrilton, Arkansas. The hole-in-one on 10 gets you the keys to this truck. And they said, thanks to J. Hodge Ford of Morrilton. So Austin Claggett gets up there, holds that out, and he's wondering, okay, where's the keys to my truck? Well, you see, there was a mistake. It was a mistake here. We're not going to be able to give you that truck because it was a misprint. It was a mistype, a misprint. And J. Hodge Ford, they said we can't give that away. And so you don't get the truck. What? I don't get the truck? What do you mean I don't get the truck? It says right here that I get the truck if I sink a hole in one on a 10 here at Morrilton Country Club in Arkansas. Well, yeah, you see, nobody actually J. Hodge Ford provided that as sort of a backdrop. It was a mistake that we giving that away. See what I mean?
Yeah, that's wrong. That's
Yeah.
wrong. If you promise to give it away, if you say, here are the standards for us giving this truck away, then you got to give the truck away. And from what it looks like, it appears as though the dealership only gave it to them for display purposes only.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that decided to offer it because they figured no one would ever get the hole in one.
In a September 13th Facebook post, the country club said Ford dealership has given us a truck to give away, quote, end quote. And it's at its October tournament. But then on October 11th, the dealership said the truck at the golf course was only there for display, and the country club promoted it as a prize without their consent. Well, you know what happens here. Mr. Claggett, Mr. Austin Claggett, who sunk that one spot there, wants his damn truck, so he went and got legal counsel.
As he should have.
And his attorney says, it is now clear that neither the country club nor the Ford dealership intend to give my client, Mr. Austin Claggett, the truck according to the lawsuit. They are accused of breaching their contract by not transferring the title to Claggett, his attorney states. Well, you know what he's going to sue the bejesus out of these guys, and he's going to get his brand new pickup truck. And he's going to do a donut on the 10th hole, and he's going to go home. That's what I would do.
I would as well. I don't think at this point, just the way I'm reading it, it doesn't even seem like it's about the truck anymore. It's that they promised him the truck and wouldn't give it to him, which I think is a completely fair reason to sue somebody.
Sue the bejesus. Get an extra 50,000, make it an even, 100,000 to these guys. Oh, shut the damn course down. Oh, even better. Take ownership of the course. There you go. Get the truck and the course. That's what I say.
I completely agree. We are on the same page here. That is wrong. You have a truck for display purposes. Display it. No, nothing says you have to promise the truck.
Austin Claggett, you're an American hero. You should get the truck. Maybe we should broadcast live there and really bring the power of the fourth dimension with us. You know what I mean? 888-368-1580. Let's spin the wheel. Austin Claggett, American hero. This is a story that caught my eye today, Keon. Marshawn Lynch apparently joining Thursday Night Football's cast of Misfit Toys. Remember early on the show, somebody said they're island of misfit toys of the analysts they have on the well. Guess what, America? Marshawn Lynch is joining Amazon Prime's Thursday Night Football broadcast team for the rest of the season.
Marshawn Lynch is the person that I would put the highest amount of money to bet accidentally swears on air first. Has to be him.
He's joining his former teammate, Richard Sherman, who's also part of the studio show. But it looks like that Marshawn is not going to be so much in the studio as he is doing special stories.
Oh, I was hoping he'd be an extra sideline reporter.
No, he's going to special stories. He's going to be out part of the Amazon. Yeah. And you can bet that his short taped segments will be very comedic and will add some spice, according to this article from the USA Today, to the Thursday Night Football broadcast through the rest of 2022 season.
I would look forward to that. Yeah. Marshawn's funny.
I mean, is he going to, you go to this, you're going to go to this thing and
take care of y'all chicken.
I mean, you're going to have like a chicken segment with Marshawn's chicken segment where he goes and checks out chicken places in the towns that the game's playing in. Well, I mean, that wouldn't be bad right there.
When he was in Buffalo, he did some weird segment with the ESPN about going to the one Dave and Buster's that was in Buffalo.
Take care of y'all chicken.
Probably got a chicken sandwich.
Obviously, he really tried the wings there, which
chicken wings,
which he liked a lot. So
yeah, I can see that. Yeah. All right. A great show today. Big George says, have a nice weekend. Go Padres, beat LA. Thanks, Big George. We love you too. Lefty odds on Marshawn swearing first has got to be minus 800 or worse.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's still going to do it. So it's just one of those bets. If you make it, you kind of have to.
Oh, damn. I didn't get to the last one. Peyton Manning is going to be the guest picker on the Alabama-Tennessee. And the Tennessee fans are not sure they want him because of the whole Peyton curse, the Manning curse. From the Monday Night Football thing.
Oh, boy.
Damn, I didn't get to that. Well, listen, it's been fun. We've had a frolicking 3 hours. We're done for this week. On Monday, Jeffrey O'Brien comes back. Fortunately, the show is only an hour and a half long. So Monday Night Football. Have a great weekend, everybody. Keon, have a great weekend, my friend. We'll see you on Monday here for the Daily Blender.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contamination